disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Alright, let's cut the music. This is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. I gotta tell you guys, there's a huge storm outside right now, so if this cuts off, then that's it. Let's hope that the power doesn't go out. Alright. Welcome to BDA Boxing. Let's see who we have here. Uncle Burnt Apostrophe Triple JJJ Box Assy Duck The Shepherd Sons Saint Brit Unravel Boxing Talk and News aka McGregor Unbiased Boxing, who actually should be named Bay Area. And yep, welcome to the show, guys. Very interesting show. Now let me just remind you, tomorrow we have a show with Mr. BDA, and we will be having another special guest, and we'll be talking obviously about Devryanchenko against Golovkin. So today we're just gonna have some fun. Now, we're not gonna talk about Golovkin Devryanchenko. We're gonna leave that for tomorrow. Today we're gonna talk about Deontay Wilder. I read an article from Boxing Scene. It says that Deontay Wilder claims that he's a Hall of Famer right now and that he is the king. The king. Long live the king. I never get credit for anything that I do, said Wilder. I am a king. I am the champ. I'm the baddest man on the planet. I'm a Hall of Famer right now, and after all I've done, no one has done what I've done. I'm the hardest hitting fighter in the whole sport, period. I'm just blessed with the gift of power. So, power has gotten over his head. Is he right? Is he wrong? What does he need to do to become a true Hall of Famer? Or maybe for some of you guys, he's already a Hall of Famer. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be opening the phone lines right now. As I open the phone lines, let me just read some comments. Box says Wilder gets Hall of Famer if they start allowing new media a vote. New media. That sounds funny. As he says, Wilder crying again. Triple JJJ says Kang. Uncle Burnt Apostrophe says he's laughing at all of this. This is serious stuff, guys. Come on. Unbiased Boxer says if he knocks out Fury, he's a Hall of Famer. No questions. Okay. Well, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and we're going to be discussing this, and I'm excited. Alright, I'm opening the phone lines. The phone number is on your screen. The fuck is that sound? It's outside. Jesus, it's chaos outside. It's raining. It's getting spooky, you know, because it's fall, the fall season. Alright, I'm gonna mute the mic for a bit. Alright. Damn, this shit's taking a while to connect. In the meantime, I will send some invites. I saw that McGregor is there, so I'm gonna call McGregor. Oh, something's happening here. Jesus. Alright, where the hell's McGregor? McGregor, send me a message if you want to join the show. In the meantime, let's read some comments. What do you guys think about Deontay Wilder claiming that he is a Hall of Famer? That nobody gives him credit for his achievements? Oh, there we go, McGregor. Let's see. Wilder is a Hall of Famer, says SSB28. I can't believe this is actually a topic. Wilder is in the Hall of Fame. Okay, very interesting. We have some disagreements going on now. McGregor, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear
Welcome
me?
to the show. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, we already have a phone call also. Jesus.
Awesome.
All right. Let's try to take this phone call. Damn, my internet is really slow right now. Oh, I think it's... No, it's not my internet. It must be Block Talk. Hello, 415. Are you there? 415. Can't hear the guy. Oh, I know why. Hold on. Stay there. I don't mute. Yeah, hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. What's your name?
How are you doing? This is Get the Smoke called. Second time calling in.
Right.
I just have a question about Wilder, Hall of Famer. Has there ever been anyone in the history of the WBC who defended the title 9 times and is not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Okay, the answer is no. So, yes, title defenses is one of the criteria, is one of the main criteria that gets you in the Hall of Fame of a major championship. And Wilder's 9 defenses gets him in the Hall.
Who has he fought?
8 by 8.
Who has he fought?
Say again?
Who has he fought?
That's a box track question.
It's a what?
Romain Stavern, Eric Molina, Dominic Brazil, Tyson Fury, Arthur Spilka, Gerald Washington, Chris Arreola.
Okay.
I'm trying to be forgetting somebody.
Yeah. I understand.
Those are the title defenses.
Okay, McGregor, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, sure. If you can answer me this question, can you name a heavyweight in the alphabet era who has actually gone into the Hall of Fame with only one singular belt defenses other than Vitaly Klitschko? Go ahead.
Larry Holmes.
With only one singular belt? No, he defended twice with 2 belts at one stage, but that's wrong. So
he got the IBF he defended the IBF, but mostly he got all of his title defenses were with the WBC. I don't remember if he actually defended the IBF, but I'm sure one title defense of the IBF does not get you into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Okay, well, so because Wilder has defended the WBC title 9 times, that's an automatic Hall of Fame criteria, I guess?
That is one of the criteria for the measurement of a Hall of Fame career, title defenses of a major champion. And then you take the heavyweight division, you go 9 title defenses of the WBC, the second oldest belt. That's going to get you in the Hall.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's the oldest belt, though. I mean, it just has to be one of the 4 major titles, correct?
It's not the second oldest belt. Well, the WBO is a major title, and WBO hasn't sent anybody to the Hall yet. They're just because they're so new.
Okay. But regardless, if Wilder would have defended the WBO 9 times, he still would have gone into the Hall of Fame, in your opinion, correct?
The WBO, no, the WBO is too new. As I said, it's the WBC is the second one. And if we're talking about the WBA before 2007, when they
I know that.
The Super.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's which belt and when they did it and all.
Okay. All right. Well, I disagree. I mean, just because, I mean, sure, he defended the title 9 times, but he never really fought anybody, right? I mean, like Tyson Fury already, he beat the lineal heavyweight champion in Vladimir Klitschko, while Wilder was fighting who? I mean, the guys you just named, they're not Hall of, like, these guys are already forgotten. They never achieved anything. Vladimir Klitschko, in my opinion, is a bigger name than anything that Wilder has even come close to fighting, man.
I mean, I hear you, but Vladimir Klitschko also fought nobody. I mean, if you want to go through, and that's 69 fights of nobody. So, I mean, it depends on how you classify nobody.
Well, he was a unified champion.
Well, the WBC.
He was a unified champion.
The WBC is the one thing. I mean, I got it. He's a unified champion, but unified champions don't get you into the Hall of Fame. Now you're just saying unified.
That's true. But Vladimir Klitschko, whilst unifying, one other thing that he did do was, according to multiple ranking bodies, he fought 3 times more top 10 fighters than Deontay Wilder did. Also, at the same time, he went against 9 Ring Magazine top 10 fighters, whereas Wilder fought 2, drawing with 1.
Yeah,
so level composition across the consensus.
We're talking about one guy whose career is over. We're talking about one guy whose career is over versus one guy whose career who's still in progress. But Vladimir Klitschko at 42 fights. Vladimir Klitschko at 42 fights. And who do you have? Grady Austin and Jamil McCline. Like, that's not really Hall of Fame worthy if you were just to go through his first 42 fights.
Okay, but you already know that Wilder should be in the Hall of Fame, correct?
I'm saying that his title defenses get him into the Hall of Fame. Yes, I mean the fact that he had 8 straight by knockout, that's only been done by Tommy Burns and Larry Holmes.
Should Sven Oka go into the Hall of Fame?
By knockout?
I don't know. Is Wilder even dominating his division?
I believe he is already in the Hall of Fame.
But is Wilder even dominating that division?
Now, if he never fought again, he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Should Sven Oka be in the Hall of Fame?
Who?
Sven Oka.
I'm sorry. Did you say Van Auken? I'm in a bad service area. I didn't hear the name.
Sven Otka.
You'll say know who it is.
I don't think I recognize the name.
Okay.
Either I'm not hearing you correctly or I'm not recognizing the name.
Okay.
He's go ahead. Super middleweight. Go ahead.
He was a super middleweight during the 90s and 2000s. I think Sven, he was unified with the WBA and IBF. He made 4 defenses of his unified, and with just the IBF alone, I think he made how many defenses of just the IBF alone? I think it was like 16, 17, somewhere around there. So with the unified and everything, I think he was in 21, 23, up into around that echelon of defenses. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
You know, I'm not really one. I'm not even one that follows the super middleweights. I don't think that they have the same tradition or history or cachet. It's just not. I don't think it's the same metrics. But I guess one could argue that it is. The IBF is also a fairly newish one. I don't know. I actually don't even know the guy's career, who you're referring to. So I don't know what happened. I'd have to research the guy's career to answer your question.
So because the WBC is an old belt, so he has prestige, the heavyweight division, because he has prestige, also, that adds to Wilder's 9 defenses legacy. Okay.
Right. I'm saying, like, the heavyweight division has a history and a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
The heavyweight belt has a history and a tradition. And you can see other heavyweights throughout history with that, within that organization, outside of that organization, with the same number of title defenses. And to a man, they're all in the Hall of Fame.
Now, hypothetically speaking,
pick apart the people that they fought. I mean, you can, Lennox Lewis. I mean, not Lennox Lewis, sorry, but Leon Spinks got the 1 win over Muhammad Ali, really, and that apparently is good enough to get him in the Hall.
Well, I disagree with that, but still, that was a big win. But I agree with you. But I was about. Gee, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that Wilder. Oh yeah, hypothetically speaking, let's say that Wilder loses in his next fight and then retires. He would still obviously be in the Hall of Fame, in your opinion, because he defended the title 9 times, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does it bother you that he goes into the Hall of Fame even though he never dominated his division with 9 title defenses? Even though he had 9 title defenses? Yeah.
I don't know. I think 9 title defenses is 9 title defenses. I think 8 straight, right? 8 consecutive knockout title defenses is that. It is what it is. I mean, it's for the historians and the fans of the day to pick it apart and put it in its proper context. But the achievement still stands as the achievement. I wasn't a huge Prince Nassim fan, Ahmed. I don't think, I didn't see his career as a Hall of Fame career, but, there he is.
Okay. Well, thanks for that call. And if you want to call again later, then go ahead, all right?
Excellent. We listen to the show.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for having me.
All right, McGregor. I'm going to try to invite more people, so keep the show going here for me. Give me your thoughts about this comments from Wilder.
I think people need to keep consistency. He made one fighter, and I wanted him to. We named Larry Holmes. That's the only other one. And he has over double those defenses. He's also beaten 9 more top 10 fighters in his era, according to Ring Magazine. He took on pretty much nearly everybody who was available in his division, whereas Wilder hasn't. Larry Holmes beat 5 champions. Wilder has beaten 1. 1 champion. Like when fighting them. Or you can say 2 if you want to give Sarah Haley a Hovich, who was coming off of a 5-year losing streak and a 2-year layoff completely. So that's where I'll go with that. In terms of his title defenses, yeah, you can say he Molina, who's amazing rankings, put him, never been top 10 in Ring Magazine. Areola was once ranked top 10 in Ring Magazine, but when Wilder fought Areola was ranked number 42 on BoxRec. He wasn't anywhere near Ring Magazine. When he fought Bermain Stavern in the first fight, Bermain Stavern is the lowest ranked heavyweight champion in the history of the top 10 by coming in at number 9 on Ring Magazine's list, which is just fucking unbelievable that the WBC champion was ranked number 9 in the world, which is kind of pathetic. If you really break down the guy's resume, you can say defenses is one criteria, but level of opposition is also another criteria that gets you into the Hall of Fame. If you want to look at it, there's fighters out there who were never even considered world champions, but they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, all you need to do is look at the Black Murderers Row. Look at guys like Coco Kid. When you look at the Hall of Fame, if you're going to use the weakest members to describe the Hall of Fame, you should be looking at the Hall of Fame questioning itself. You shouldn't be trying to put in another guy in comparison to that, because it's just going to downgrade it. That's where I stand on the whole thing. If Deontay Wilder's in the Hall of Fame, then, to be honest, Anthony Joshua should go into the Hall of Fame, because he's got better stats in less fights, and he's picked up more belts. Maybe he hasn't made the same amount of defenses, but he's beaten 6 top 10 Ring Magazine heavyweights. He's beaten 4 champions, so he should go in there. And I'm not even a Joshua fucking fanboy. Dillian White's resume is arguably on par with Deontay Wilder's in terms of Ring Magazine top 10 heavyweights. He's actually beaten more than Wilder has, which is sad. Oh, no, he's tied him, sorry, with 2 apiece.
Is there any written criteria in the Hall of Fame?
Written criteria? Yeah. The written criteria of the Hall of Fame doesn't exist, because it did back in the 90s, but they got rid of it. It's not there anymore. So we don't know what it is. When they start putting guys in like Barry McGuigan, who didn't deserve to go in, they put in Gatti, who arguably didn't deserve to go in, and Vladimir Klitschko. They kind of opened this opportunity up for guys like this. I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I'm more stringent. I believe actual Hall of Famers deserve to go into the Hall of Fame. If you look at some of the guys who aren't in there, James Toney. Does Wilder deserve to go in there ahead of James Toney? Absolutely fucking not. Does he deserve to go in there ahead of Roy Jones Jr.? Absolutely fucking not.
The heavyweight has prestige.
Yeah, the heavyweight has prestige. Yeah, absolutely. Same heavyweight who's getting outsold by Errol Spence.
Yeah, I understand. See, if there's no criteria, then I guess there's precedents, which was what the caller was using. I guess a precedent of other fighters who have made multiple defenses and made it into a Hall of Fame, or even fighters who don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, like Spinks, and you mentioned Arturo Gatti. But I mean, because of those precedents, and I guess anybody can fucking join now, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, but like it's based off of our opinions. This question:
Yeah.
Does he deserve to go into the Hall of Fame? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And if you think he does, based off of 9 defenses, then Sven Okke should go in on his super middleweight resume because he made 22 or 21. Fucking Triple G should go in there too. He made 20. Unless you want to argue the whole regular belt, but then you don't understand because if you call Charlo a champion. Canelo's actually the champion, same situation. So follow your own fucking standards.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Canelo, we don't know what that belt means. The franchise belt, is he gonna defend it? But yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's true, but then that's when you have to nitpick and go, well, the WBC is an ancient belt. I mean, he has more. It's one of the old belts, that with the WBA, right? Then you had the IBF, and then later on the WBO. So, but that doesn't change anything. I mean, they're still major belts at this point. So, if you defend a WBO heavyweight title 9 times, it's the same as if you defend a WBC 9 times. I don't see the difference. And then you want to say that heavy division has more prestige than the super middleweight division. Sure, but I mean that this is a problem, man. Like, there's no written criteria, and
right. I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna go through this real fast because I kind of need to. George Foreman, Chuck Wepner, Ron Loyal, Joe Bugner, Joe Frazier, Koopman, Jimmy Young, Richard Dunn, Ken Norton, Alfredo Evangelista, Ernie Shavers. That's that right there. 9 defenses. 10 defenses, actually, sorry. That's 10 defenses right there of an undisputed world title. Yeah. Undisputed. That was undisputed. You have 5 Hall of Famers written there. That's what gets you into the Hall of Fame. When you start comparing the WBC as like this thing, it's not undisputed. The guys, most of the heavyweight guys, bar a few who are in the Hall of Fame, were either undisputed or they beat 6 to 9 Hall of Famers. That's what they did. That's what got them in there. You look at Larry Holmes' resume and you put it next to Wilder and you see he's got double the defenses. He's fought 15 more top 10 fucking opponents. And you see the fact that he beat the shit out of nearly everybody and he fought over 25 fucking years. And you want to compare a guy who before his first world title shot was beating Jason Gavin?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It's genuinely ridiculous. Also, it looks like recognized joint picture.
Yeah, I reckon I see there. I don't know, there was a bunch of noise, so I don't know if he's there. I don't... Yeah. Whoa. What up?
I'm here.
Welcome to the show. We're discussing these comments that Deontay Wilder made. He claims that he is a Hall of Famer right now, and he is the king. Oh, no, sorry, a king. So we're discussing this. Yeah, so we had a caller who said that Deontay Wilder does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because he defended the WBC title 9 times.
Oh, that'll get you in these days.
But that's the thing, yeah.
Like McGregor was saying, if you compare his resume to like guys like Larry Holmes and some of the past heavyweight title runs.
I just compared his 9 defenses to Ali's 10.
Right. To Ali's 10. Like, think about that for a second. Like, the 10 that the guys he named. I mean, look, it's... I don't really care if they put him into the Hall of Fame or not. In terms... It's annoying to hear boxing fans say he's the greatest heavyweight while his career is still on and he hasn't really done anything. Like, okay, even if you do think he did something, his career is not over. Okay, it's not over, and he has a long way to go, and he's got father time to deal with. Right? I know heavyweights age better, but he's still 34 or 33, whatever age he is.
34.
Okay? Right. So I don't think I think it's very stupid of a fan to say he's a Hall of Famer already. Okay, what if he gets knocked out in his next fight, comes back, gets knocked out again, comes back, gets knocked out again, and he's like, you know what, I'm done with boxing. I realize that I'm exposed. I mean, is he still a Hall of Famer? No, of course not.
But that's what I asked the caller. Yeah, but he claims that those 9 defenses are enough to have him in the Hall of Fame.
I mean,
Well,
who
no,
were they against? I'm not saying they were terrible,
I-
so bad that they don't belong in the ring. No, I'm not saying that, but like, are these title defenses that are like just remarkable?
Well,
where there was you can name 3 guys that were okay if they were in Hall of Fame or they're in the very good Hall of Fame. Like, you know, the Hall of Fame is like for all time greats, and then there's the very good. Right?
Well, I'll help you answer your question. Recognize. I'll give you some of those fighters, right? So his first defense, Eric Molina. Does he fall into that very good category?
No.
Johan De Hoppe.
No.
Arthur Spielke.
No.
Chris Arreola.
No.
Gerald Washington.
No.
Obese Bermain Stavern.
No.
41-year-old Luis Ortiz, who his best win was Brian Jennings and never fought anyone else inside the top 10.
Decent win.
Alright. Tyson Fury, draw.
An elite fighter, but you drawed with the guy officially.
Yeah. Alright. So a decent win against a good guy who a lot of people would say is a good fighter, Luis Ortiz. That's his best win. Draw with Fury. That's actually his best result on paper. It's a draw.
Yeah, I'm supposed to say, "Wow, I've never seen something like this before." Or if I have seen it, it's in the Larry Holmes-esque. It's in the Muhammad Ali. You know,
I'll just say this.
It's nowhere near Vladimir.
I'll just ask you this: Is his win recognized in your opinion? Is his win over Luis Ortiz, which is his best win? Is that a better win than Pinklon Thomas beating Tim Witherspoon?
No.
Okay. It's better than Tim Witherspoon beating Greg Page.
I'm gonna say Tim Witherspoon beating Greg Page was better too. I gotta be honest, yeah, man.
That's what we need to look at. Is it better than Larry Holmes? I don't know, beating Trevor Berbick.
Trevor Berbick was a champion, so I mean,
what about Larry Holmes' win over Ken Norton? Ernie Shavers, Muhammad Ali. Ernie Shavers twice, by the way. I mean, for fuck's sake.
No.
And you're talking about Wilder having some of the biggest punching power ever. If you ask any person who watched boxing during the 60s and 70s, Ernie Shavers is the biggest puncher who ever lived.
All right. You guys want to take a look at Klitschko's resume and see if he actually is better than Wilder in his first... Well, sorry, the caller said that he was comparing
his first 42 fights to Wilder's.
But what does that matter, though? It's like...
Well, because he wants to get rid of all of Klitschko's defenses before he starts. So Klitschko's non-championship reign to Klitschko's, WBO reign.
Well, that doesn't matter. Oh, no, that's not how... No, we should look at...
But however, on paper, because we can even do the age thing if we want. How old was this guy when they fought? So he's 41. Luis Ortiz was near enough the same age. What's a better win on paper? Just the names, yeah? Ray Mercer or Luis Ortiz?
Ray Mercer. For
just
sure.
on paper.
It's Ray Mercer.
Yeah. Even though Ray was shot, you can do it the same way. Luis Ortiz was shot. He wasn't in his fucking prime. Right?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at...
We've got Chris Bird. We've got Chris Bird on paper. What's better, Chris Bird or Chris Arreola?
Chris Bird.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris Bird, without a doubt.
What about how about this on paper? What's better, Monty Barrett? Okay, Monty Barrett or Eric Molina? Who wins point for point?
Monty Barrett.
There you go. And this is before he was even recognized as anything good. What's better, Axel Schultz or Arthur Spielke?
Schultz.
Now,
most of the people who want to dog on Vladimir don't even know the fighters or how good they were.
he held the WBO when it wasn't considered a major title. Some people are gonna claim that. That's
which is
gonna,
fine.
okay.
So we move away from that, and we look at. Let's go on to him beating Samuel Peter. Let's look at him beating Chris Board. Let's look at him beating Calvin Brock. Let's look at him beating like destroying Lamont Brewster. What about a Bragimov, Tony Thompson, Hasim Rahman, Ruslan Shagoyev, Eddie Chambers? By the way, Eddie Chambers at that time beats the shit out of Bermain Stavern. So does Shagoyev. Right? Beats Peter again. David Hay, in his prime, beats the shit out of David Hay. Jean-Marc Mormec, who could go down as a Hall of Fame cruiserweight himself, right? Beats Tony Thompson again, right? Look at, let's say, Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev has been in the top 10 of the heavyweight division for 10 years. A feat Wilder won't ever reach.
Now, to be fair,
when he beat
Shagoyev,
excuse me, that's when he became the lineal. And if you look at his run there, right, I believe that's it. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that where he became the lineal?
That's when he was given lineal status. Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at his title defenses from there on out, right? Let's say because people don't want to count the WBO because the WBO wasn't a major title, whatever, right? His run from there on out was better than anything Wilder's ever done.
All right, to be fair, I don't know, especially not the caller. He didn't make any. He didn't say that Wilder is bigger than Klitschko. All right, so because I think we're getting into that.
No, what he said was that the resumes weren't even comparable after 42 fights, but I named 3 wins that are actually better than 3 of his wins after 42 fights, and he wasn't even recognized as a proper champion yet.
True, that's a good point. Yeah.
And this is the guy who has the most prestigious belt. Hold on. This is the guy who has the most prestigious belt, according to Caller, right? Which is fine. He can make that assertion, or one of the 2 most prestigious. But then, with the most unprestigious, the youngest belt in its infancy, he had defenses against guys who were better than guys Wilder's had, which is sad.
Is that subjective?
And this was a Klitschko not in his prime, not at his peak, and not at his best yet.
All right, people, if you're listening, please call in and give us your take on Deontay Wilder's comments that he claims that he is already, even though he's not even retired yet, he's already a Hall of Famer. Please give us a call or just messages in the chat. So actually, I should go to the chat and give these people some attention over here. Blue Collar Sports TV says Peter versus Tony 1 was a nice fight. Jerry Esquibel, I don't know, sorry man. Does a Hall of Fame fighter get denied to fight on his own home network? I don't okay. What's he talking
I want to say one thing, Butcher, yeah? Just real fast. Vladimir Klitschko has 22 wins against rated top 10 or champions. 22.
Come on, man.
Wilder has 4.
That's ridiculous.
Wilder has 4 and a draw.
Right.
That's a good point. I mean, but that's what I was. That's the argument I was trying to make over here is that Deontay Wilder hasn't dominated his division. I don't care if he has 9 defenses. At least have 9 defenses holding 2 world titles. So you're fighting top 10 contenders from 2 major titles at least. When
Klitschko was the champion, he fought anybody that was willing to get in. He fought them.
The caller and probably other people will said that. Well, who did Klitschko fight though? But that's the whole point. Also, who did Wilder fight? Yeah.
So this is a guy who's not that knowledgeable, proposing that question. So it's like, it's really pointless to even answer it because he doesn't. For you to ask someone that knows about boxing, somebody like McGregor, somebody like myself, that's been following boxing that long, that tells me that you're not you either weren't old enough to watch Klitschko title run, his reign as the guy at the division, right? Or you just totally ignored it and you only became interested when a guy like Deontay Wilder became a champion. So how can you make that as I'm not gonna tell you in a weight class that I don't follow, like the lower weights, the bantamweight and down, who's the greatest there, and tell you I just started watching it because I like a guy there that he was better than the guys that from the past when I just started watching the division. I'm not gonna do that. It's just stupid.
Yeah, no, I understand. And by the way, we invite the caller to call again if you're listening and if you want to join us again and continue this discussion. Also, I see corruption in the chat. What's up, corruption? Fix your Discord so you can join us. All right, the phone lines are open. The phone number is on your screen. Please call in. And the caller who called earlier, if you want to call back again, you're welcome to do so. What else? All right, so yeah, Wilder hasn't dominated his division, but I guess he still has 9 defenses. Oh, Recognize, what do you have to say about what the caller said about, the heavyweight division has a certain prestige to it, so it, those like 9 defenses are in a higher standard, I guess.
That's not true. Okay. That's just some boxing talking point that some people make up, and they kind of like use that as the Bible. That's not true. I mean, I could go in there and be a heavyweight champion and go in there and fight 9 bums. I mean, you're not going to sit there and tell me that I did something great because it's in the heavyweight. It's over, 200 pounds. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because there's content to it. Who did you fight? What was the guy's, what did the guy accomplish that you fought against? All that stuff has to be taken into consideration when you're going to start comparing Deontay Wilder's Hall of Fame run to another Hall of Famer whose career is done and has like over 10 top 10 fighters and champions in his resume. Like, you can't do that. It's just you gotta consider content in it. Is what I'm trying to say.
What about the fact that the WBC has a certain prestige because it's one of the oldest belts?
It means nothing.
Bro, it means nothing when the same fucking thing in the era he's in has 7 years.
I see. Good point.
They made Dominic Breazeale his mandatory. Are you serious?
Yeah.
They made
Ali was a fucking mandatory for listing.
Bermain Stavern didn't fight for like 2 years, and it was made a number 1 mandatory to fight to get a rematch against Deontay Wilder. So come on.
Yeah, good point.
A guy who literally looked like he came in there to lose the fight. Like, just get it over with. Wilder hit me and this fight is over.
What about the fashion in which Deontay Wilder had those defenses? Then most of them were knockouts.
Yeah, well, again, it goes into all right, I like the knockouts, but who are you doing it against?
Yeah, it goes all... Yeah, exactly. It's pretty simple. I mean, in our opinion, I think, who did you fight? Did you dominate your division? But I guess from other people, they're going to look at the number of defenses, and then they're going to use precedents in, this guy made into a Hall of Fame, and he only did this, and this guy also made into a Hall of Fame, and he only did that. How come 9 title defenses don't make you happy?
Because Ali overall made 19 defenses of undisputed.
Exactly. That's the thing. And Larry Holmes, was he the dominant heavyweight in the 80s?
Yes.
Exactly. So
started in the late 70s, and then what was it? The early 80s? I forget. Yeah.
Early 80s, huh?
I think it was.
He became world champion in late 70s when he beat Kenny Martin.
That's right.
Okay.
WBC 78, 9th of June 78, I think.
Okay, but point is, he was the dominant heavyweight in his era, and then you count those defenses based on the fact that he was the most dominant heavyweight in his era. Deontay Wilder, he has 9 defenses, but he is not the dominant heavyweight right now.
Dude, like, Mike Tyson had a couple of years where he was the guy. Lennox Lewis had a reign of being the guy. Muhammad Ali, Vladimir Klitschko. Wilder still hasn't.
Bruh.
What are we talking about? It's like
Bruh.
this is not.
Larry Holmes made 19 world title defenses in 7 years. Deontay Wilder's got 9 and 6.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't even think he'll get to 19.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't think so. Get This Smoke says McGregor asked me question that Holmes was the answer to. I didn't compare those guys either. Okay, that's what he wrote. BDA brought up Klitschko, not
I'm
me.
just showing the difference in the caliber of the one belt champion that you mentioned. There's only one in that situation, and the difference in caliber is massive. It is. And that's the criteria. You need to be matched to those guys. So Larry Holmes, you need to be matched to him. You need to be. This is just my perspective. You need to be matched, Holly. You need to be matched to the Hall of Famers, the legitimate ones. If you want to put a guy in there based off of another guy in there who's the weakest, that shouldn't be it. You should be calling for the weakest one to be removed. You should be looking for Hall of Fame to mean something. Hall of Fame should mean something. It shouldn't be based off of the worst. It should be based off of who are the best fighters ever. Not the lowest criteria, but what the legit criteria should be. And the legit criteria of the Hall of Fame should be, are you one of, if not the best of your era, and you proved it. And he hasn't yet proven to be the best of his era. He hasn't beaten the best fighters in his division. He needs to beat a Fury. He needs to beat an Andy Ruiz. He needs to beat a Dillian White. He needs to beat an Anthony Joshua. He needs to do that before he can get that. Because all those other guys, they do have those names. They do have a Ken Norton. They do have a George Foreman. They do have a Larry Holmes. They do have a Muhammad Ali. They do have a Joe Frazier. They do have a Mike Tyson. They do have a Riddick Bowe. They have these names. They have them.
I just thought that was a great comment you just pointed out, Bucho, where the guys pointing out all the guys he needs to fight because they're relevant. I mean, this is a guy who hasn't even fought these people.
Well,
had chances to. Okay, not like they're avoiding Wilder and no, there's no possible way we can fight. We can't make that fight, but. Some of those names that gentleman put up that Wilder needs to fight: Joshua, White, Povetkin, Parker, Ruiz, Pulev, and a Fury. Okay, Fury he fought, but yeah, like if you're the man, fight these guys. Let's see if you can get through all of them without losing. Let's see.
Yeah. Corruption in boxing says if Wilder is a Hall of Fame inductee, then so is a strawweight fighter who is 53-0 and fought pretty much no one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the 53-0 guy
He's
is.
talking about Juan Hangman Olsen.
And who's Monstri? I don't know. He's a minimum.
That's Juan Hangman Olsen.
Okay, it's Wexford.
Monstri is Juan Hangman Olsen. He's a strawweight currently active, 53-0. As
well, yeah, exactly. But then again, the argument would be, well, the heavyweight has this prestige, right? So there's always, arguments that can be.
He's made 11 defenses. He's had 12 WBC wars. 11 defenses. Mark, to have his 12th.
Mark, give me a woman's name that if I told you I banged her, you would say, Frank, that was prestigious. Just give me a name.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
Prestigious. Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Oof.
That you would say, man, Frank, you're a fucking god. Just
Kate Beckinsale, fam.
Who?
Kate Beckinsale.
But what if I told you before I banged her, she used to get gangbanged by literally homeless people?
I'll be perfectly honest, man. I'd still go Raw. It's prestigious.
But okay, look. The point I was trying to make.
I know what you're getting at. I know what you're
getting. What's
the
prestige in that if she would do anybody? Anybody. Okay.
It's the name on the resume, innit?
She just anybody who wants to. Let's go. Literally.
No, I'm not saying I'm above Wilder. Like, Wilder's championship run and my sex life, they're as desperate as each other.
My point is,
BDA
look,
says,
it's
what's
just
wrong
that
with...
there's gotta be some.
BDA
There's gotta
saying,
be some.
what's wrong with banging
some,
homeless people?
Nothing, man. When I was homeless, I fucking thanked the woman who took me home.
The Fight Scott says, lol, that's a bad comparison. Recognize a Mitch.
It's a great comparison.
Well, all right, Fight Scout. How about if she goes in and bangs the whole, like a crazy house asylum, one of those nut houses? Are you gonna look at her the same because she's hot?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mark said, yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I've done smash or pass with trannies on my stream, man. Wrong person to ask.
That's the insane asylum while they're fucking her. All right.
Dude, by the way, man,
Yes.
I listened to the past stream with Gonzalo going off, bro. That shit was so funny, man. Where he was like interrupting everybody.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's a soundbite. You gotta take care of that.
I already have it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Gonzalo's the man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
That wasn't the last stream, no?
I think it was the last stream or the stream before that.
Shit, hold on.
Let me talk. Let me talk.
If anybody is actually putting in the work, it's Spence. It's not Crawford.
No, it's the one before. Anyways, what the hell are people saying in the chat?
Get some.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Dropped by Marquez.
Oh my God. GGG timing is just slightly off, a little bit off. Just slightly off.
Listen to this. I go to his neutral corner. The fucking crowd is going crazy, right? Triple G everything on the rope. He's like trying to hold the rope to keep him up. Checo pulls them back, and Checo's G with his. Yeah, I like that laugh. That's the funniest.
Go ahead.
And
hold on. I got it.
For the love of God.
Here we go.
And drop.
Dude, hey, you're a legend. Fucking recognize. I promise.
For the love of God, let me speak.
No, but anyways, continue. Yes. No, real quick. No, just continue. I'm sorry. Hold on. Continue with the.
For the love of Jesus Christ.
Follow through with your combinations. Don't let me deter you. Follow through with your punch. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao with authority. No, I'm just saying. Anyways, dude.
Yeah. Anyways,
dude, this is a crazy show, bro.
That was crazy, man. Overhand says everybody was drunk. I don't think we were drunk. I wasn't drunk.
I know Gonzalo was drunk because he was drinking on my stream about 10 hours earlier.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Box says Gonzalo.
I was a little tipsy. I have to admit.
Box is saying that Gonzalo has a better resume. He's a better resume than Wilder, probably. All right, guys. Call in. Let us know what you think about Deontay Wilder's comments. Is he a Hall of Famer? Who the hell has he fought? And this is the thing, when you bring it up, like who has Wilder fought? They bring Klitschko in this, or other heavyweight. Oh, who did Klitschko fight? Like who did Lennox Lewis fight? Like seriously, like
Mike Tyson.
Like you don't know boxing if you ask those questions.
And these people dominated their division, though, the heavyweight division. It's Wilder hasn't, man.
Look, if you're in your 20s and you ask that question, obviously we're there's no point in having the discussion because you wasn't around to watch those fights. Now McGregor might be an exception because McGregor knows the history, and I think how old are you said again? 25, 26?
26.
Okay, so 20, he obviously is a student of the history of boxing, so he knows all this. But if you're coming at it from like a 20-year-old's perspective, it's like, dude, don't waste your time. This conversation is not worth having with somebody who just started watching boxing and knows nothing of the history.
Yeah, and then by the way, Wilder defended the WBC 9 times, but he didn't dominate. He wasn't the dominant heavyweight in his division, so that means that he was fighting tops, like not the top 5 boxers, not even maybe like just the 7th ranked boxer, the 8th ranked boxer.
If he I'll give Wilder this. If he becomes the man at heavyweight, now we're talking. Now we can start having this conversation. Until that happens, please do not compare him.
I'll be straightforward. It's this simple. He goes into the Hall of Fame in 2 wins, like after Ortiz. If he beats Tyson Fury and then beats the winner of Joshua Ruiz, that's it.
Yeah.
He's in. He's in. He's undisputed. He's got those 9 defenses before it. He cleared out the division. He proved to be the number 1. That's it. All the other guys were already beaten by the other 2 men. He picks up that legacy. Yeah. Because by that standard, Joe Frazier, he's outdone him.
Right. He gets those 2 wins and he defends his belt a couple of times. Fuck.
Doesn't even need the defenses because he's got 9 per.
Right, but I'm talking about the guys that are still out there. Like if he wants to add to.
If he wants to solidify and beat a Joseph Parker, a Povetkin, or a Dillian White by like completely cementing it, yeah, he'd go in easy.
Yeah.
So if he unifies, he's in the Hall of Fame.
If he becomes undisputed.
Yeah, undisputed.
Right, because then I would look at him
as or he unifies another belt and goes on 16, 17, 18. Or like Vladimir did.
Works for DJ says, what happens when he starts talking Usyk? Well, we'll have to see if he talks Usyk. What else are people saying in the chat? Wilder hangs on Al's apron strings. He's cooking up his career.
It's one bad chef.
Yeah. All right, so in our opinion, Wilder is not in the Hall of Fame yet. 9 defenses, but against who? And then if you bring up an argument or counter argument saying, well, who did Vladimir Klitschko fight? Well, we also dealt with that argument, correct, McGregor?
Well, yeah, because Wilder's is against one sanctioning body's top 10, whereas Vladimir beat 14 top 10 Ring Magazine opponents. He beat fucking 22 champions and top 10 ranked Ring Magazine rated opponents. That's ridiculous. You can't even compare it. He went on, he unified 3 belts, and he did it over a 20-year period. So he proved consistency, longevity, and he beat everybody in this division in their prime while he was still in his prime at the height of his career, except for his own brother. So there you go. He beat Povetkin, he beat Pulev, he beat David Hay, a unified cruiserweight champion. He beat Marmek, a 2-weight world champion, unified cruiserweight world champion. He beat Kubrat Pulev, a top 10 fighter for 10 years, according to the Ring Magazine and consensus ratings. I mean, that kind of sums it up. Without putting out Hasim Rahman, without putting out Chris Board, without putting up the rest, it's better than Wilder's. Simple.
All right. Well, I don't see anybody disagreeing with us in the chat, so...
If Wilder can go and equal that amount of numbers with... Simple. He needs to reach those numbers, though. The WBC doesn't outweigh a 3-belt defense run of 19 championship runs.
Yeah. Yeah, but and then, of course, if you want to make another argument that using precedents, where Arturo Gatti made it into a Hall of Fame, so...
Arturo Gatti is a 2-weight world champion.
Yeah, but true. But anyways, even if you try to do that, it's... Then anybody can be in the Hall of Fame, or most boxers can be in the Hall of Fame. So we gotta build some standards over here, all right?
Arturo Gatti also has more accolades. 3 Ring Magazine Fight of the Years, 2 of them. Wilder's never been in a Fight of the Year, so he doesn't get the fan vote here.
True.
Fan vote, giving entertainment for value to that extent. Gatti did. He did it 3 times, twice back to back. Very few fighters in the history of the sport managed to achieve that. Other than 2 or 3 during this era from 60 onwards, you need to go back to the beginning of boxing or the actual Ring Magazine and go to the 20s and 30s with Harry Greb and Gene Tunney.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a phone call over here. Oh, this is gonna taking a little bit of time. I don't know what the hell's wrong with the phone calls today. All right. While that's going, let's. Oh, it's 818. You're on the air. 818.
Hello, King Bucho.
Yeah. What's up? Who is this?
It's muscle memory.
Yeah,
Guys.
muscle. I knew it. Alright, hold on.
Go
Santos.
ahead and take that super chat.
Yeah, thanks. Santos Romo says, guys, I know it's neither, but who has a better argument to get in the Hall of Fame, Wilder or Broner with his 4-weight class championship argument? That's a good one. All right, let's get into muscle memory, then we'll answer that question. Or unless you want to answer that question, muscle.
That's actually a good question. Caught us all off guard. Well, I thought I just signed on. I didn't know we were doing this topic. I thought we'd be talking Dachenko and
Tomorrow.
Golovkin.
That's tomorrow.
Sure. Tomorrow. Okay, cool. Okay, so is Wilder a Hall of Famer? Short answer, no. I'm sure it's already been answered before me. Who's he beat? If his best win is Luis Ortiz, and who's arguably at the time when he had beat him, like, was he even like a top 5 heavyweight? And no, or maybe borderline. And who is Luis Ortiz's best win? I think you also have to look at like his best wins in like Ortiz and like Stavern. What have they done after Wilder? And again, not much, you know. See, Joshua beat White, but now that victory looks so much better since White has won like 4 or 5 fights in a row against like decent named opponents, right?
Yeah.
So maybe had Wilder traveled to Russia and successfully defended the WBC against Povetkin, had he defeated his mandatory in White by now, and had he gotten the W against Fury, then I think this would be a legitimate question. Is he a Hall of Famer? But at this point in time, with this resume, yeah, absolutely no.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, like you mentioned, Wilder did have opportunities. He still has opportunities to become a Hall of Famer, all right? But like you said, there was like 3 opportunities that he missed.
Yeah. As a heavyweight, he still has time. If he doesn't get injured again, he has time till like 36, 37 to accomplish that. And he has time, but is he willing to travel? Is he willing to, fight the guys? So
yeah. All right.
For now, no.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'll tune in tomorrow during the Dachenko show.
All right. Take care, muscle.
Tomorrow. All right. Thank you.
Yep. I guess most of us agree over here that Wilder shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame yet. I was expecting more people to be defending Deontay Wilder, so...
It's hard to defend.
I mean, we had that one caller, but that's it. I'm looking at the chat. There's nobody defending Deontay Wilder.
There's not really much they can say, I don't think.
I want to. Like, when I look at Hall of Fame, I want to see anybody who goes fighters in there who do not deserve to be. There's fighters in there who do not deserve to be in there, like Barry McGuigan. He does not deserve to be in there. I don't think Gatti does either. There's a few. Vitaly Klitschko. I don't think he deserves to go in there. But then there are other fighters like Lou Salika and Jack Chase whose resumes absolutely annihilate them, but they're not in there. I also don't think Oliver McCall should be in there, and I don't think Ray Mercer should be in there. There's a few guys who are in there, but I don't base it off of the worst criteria. I base it off of who should be in my opinion.
I saw some of the names of the nominees for the next Hall of Fame ceremony. You had like Jorge Arce, Timothy Bradley, Carl Froch. Like, what about Carl Froch?
Does Carl Froch deserve to go into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I don't know. Off of my standard, no, but if Wilder does, Froch does.
Yeah. If
Froch
Froch,
has been a
if
unified
Wilder belongs in there, then
champion and he fought everybody in his division.
You have also Timothy Bradley, 2-weight division champ.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Marquez, of course, man.
Yeah, Marquez is a Hall of Fame.
Marcus Bradley, I would say yes. Obviously, he was the I think he was the undisputed 140-pound champion, no? When he fought Devon Alexander. Timothy Bradley, Alexander. I think that was that was a unification fight. Who else did they mention? They mentioned Antonio Tarver. What about Antonio Tarver?
For me, yeah. He could say he was the man at light heavy career.
Yeah. Who else did they mention? I forgot. But all right. Well, this is interesting. I thought it was gonna be a huge debate over here. Greatly disappointed with you people. Anybody wants to defend Deontay Wilder, please. Is Wilder a Hall of Famer?
Come on, man. I thought Wilder had fans.
Yeah, come on.
We're jumping him. We're beating him up. We're jumping on him. Somebody jump in.
And there's like almost 80 people listening right now. I'm sure there's some bunch of Wilder fans. Come on, call in.
How many people watching Bucho?
79.
And only 20 likes?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Support the show, man. It's free. Just hit the like button. That's free as hell.
Black Lomachenko says, call boxing ego. He'll defend him. Oh, this guy doesn't know anything.
Call him collect.
Fight Scout says, Froch beat Jermaine Taylor, Bute, Darrell, Abraham, Kessler,
Pascal, Groves, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a nice resume. I say he gets in.
Sick resume.
He has a better resume than Wilder. This Fight Scout says,
he's got a way better resume, man. He fought against everybody in his division. Like, he lost to Kessler and he lost to Andre Ward.
Well, hold on.
That's it. That's it. Other than that, he avenged the Kessler loss and beat him. He beat Groves twice. He beat Lucien Bute. He beat Arthur Abraham. He beat Glenn Johnson. He beat Andre Darrell, Jermaine Taylor, Jean Pascal, and even if you want to, you can also put in Robin Reed, who wasn't mentioned there, who was a good fighter himself, and same with Tony Dodson at British level. But Robin Reed was a very good fighter.
But hold on, McGregor, hold on. But did Carl Froch defend the prestigious WBC belt, and was he a heavyweight?
No, Carl Froch, he didn't defend it 9 times.
Chris K says, Wilder is the greatest of all time. Tank is the truth. Thank you for your contribution, Chris K. And I agree with you. Box says, Robin Reed beat Calzaghe. Okay.
Sure he did.
On Bias Boxing, Bavaria Boxing says, Froch is a Hall of Famer, of course. Overhand says Carl Froch has too many names on his resume not to be a Hall of Famer. Alright, so we agree. Carl Froch goes in the Hall of Fame. There you go. Yeah.
Look, Marquez, this is for me. Is Timothy Bradley in contention for?
Yes.
So Bradley, I would say okay, maybe. I'd say yes. I would actually say yes to Bradley. I'd say yes to Juan Manuel Marquez. Easy money. That's like hands down. Nobody can fucking dispute that shit. Unless you want to do like drug talk or whatever. Then I'd say yes to Froch. But you know, Jorge Acra, I'd get Arce, sorry. Yeah, I'd give him in, man. His resume is fucking beast.
Although some people claim he wasn't technically a 4-division world champion, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but like a lot of people say. Deontay Wilder isn't a 4-weight world champion.
No, he's a heavyweight. Yeah.
He's not even a lineal champion in one division.
No, that's the thing. That's what I keep saying, man. Yeah, exactly.
But no, hold on. Lineal doesn't mean anything. Neither does undisputed. It's about that WBC.
Ah, WBC.
So let's say there's two guys who have 9 title defenses, but one defended the WBC, the other one defended the WBO. So the guy with the WBC defenses, he's he has like a higher, has better defenses, even though it's still a lineal belt. I don't understand that. This is confusing to me. Dirtbag says your phone lines are busy, Bucho. Is that what's happening, man? Yeah, we're having. Okay. Fernando Ortiz is Bucho. Fix the lines. All right. There's something
We're
wrong with
currently having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, because every time I pick up the phone here, it takes like 30 seconds to get the call in. So there's something wrong with their servers or some shit, man. I'll try to fix it. Give me 2 seconds. In the meantime, you guys take over. Read some comments.
Yeah, sure. Read some comments? Yeah, sure.
Well, whatever.
Let's see. Oh god, I can't read. Overhand says, here's a good one. Is Tarver a Hall of Famer? Do you want to go on that, Frank?
I'll say this. If you think Arturo Gati's a Hall of Famer, Tarver's a Hall of Famer, for sure.
Tarver's resume ain't bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, so I say Tarver is, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer for me.
Well, let's see.
Ray Mercer, Hall of Famer. No, he's in that very good category. Very good.
He's not very good. I mean,
he was never the man at at heavyweight. He was always a top contender, a very feared guy too, but not enough. Not enough in the.
Since it appears you're
not enough to get into the Hall of Fame.
Montel Griffin, Glenn Johnson, Roy Jones.
Montel Griffin, no.
No, I'm just saying who Tarver.
Oh, Tarver. Yeah, got you.
Montel Griffin, Roy Jones, Glenn Johnson, Clinton Woods. I mean, not bad. Not bad. Do I think he should be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I don't know. He's not bad.
He revenged his loss to his earlier loss to what was the guy Eric Harding?
Yeah, Eric Harding, 2002.
Yeah, he knocked him out. So.
Mm.
Oh, you know, yeah.
On the come up, he beat Reggie Johnson.
Yeah, he beat Reggie Johnson.
Who was Reggie Johnson, by the way.
Yeah, he was a good fighter.
Yo, there's a super chat from St. Britt. Wilder is the worst dressed Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, Tyson Fury is kind of wacky the way he dresses sometimes. Yeah, I would say Wilder. You know, his fans would tell you it's probably one of the greatest styles ever, too. You know, they probably think Wilder's the most handsomest guy at the same time, too. But
hold on, I want to respond to one thing in the chat. At 8 sins, name another guy with 9 title defenses WBC heavyweight. I just want to say this myself. There isn't, but that's the problem. There isn't one, so that's not a good enough criteria, obviously.
Yeah, you just created your own criteria.
That's your own criteria. You've said 9 defenses WBC is enough, but that's the thing. There isn't anyone else who's done that because that doesn't necessarily guarantee you deserve to go in. Shepherd of Son says, does Usyk get into the Hall of Fame if he retires now? No. He needs a bit more longevity. If you look at his stats in comparison to other cruiserweights, he hasn't actually beaten a top 10 ATG cruiserweight. First and foremost, it's a young division. He doesn't have the same type of legacy of a De Leon yet in terms of defenses, or a Holyfield just yet, or even a Mormek in terms of top 10 opposition. McGregor, why shouldn't McCall be in the Hall of Fame? Because I think he has a couple of good wins. He has some good wins on his resume, but I don't think so.
Robert, of course, Eric Morales is a Hall of Famer.
Name another not in the Hall of Fame if that's not the criteria. It's the same situation. It's neither a criteria or a non. You've set your own barrier. It's not the Hall of Fame's criteria, which you said is. There isn't an International Boxing Hall of Fame. You can make an argument off precedent, but I can make an argument back on that based off of level of opposition. You know this.
Dude, I mean, like, why would? Okay, so here's the question. Here's the question for the guy who's loving this 9 defense of the WBC, and that gets you in. If Wilder retired today, are you satisfied with his career? Never fighting AJ, never fighting um, Tyson Fury in a rematch, never fighting, Dillian White, Kubrat Pulev, none of those guys. I'm not saying he has to fight all of them, but at least one of those guys.
I'd
You're
like to
okay
see
with
him have
that?
3.
You're okay with that and say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, no. And if he is a Hall of Famer, how can you even compare him to the all-time greats? How can you even compare him? All-time great means you fought everybody. Like for me, at least, this is my criteria. You fought everybody, or mostly everybody, that was in your time period.
Pretty
That
much.
was
That's what it
somebody.
used to be, Frank. That's what it used to be.
Agree. Yeah. It's they lowered. This millennial mentality where it's like let's lower the standard so we can get in.
BDA Boxing has a very good point.
Get the Smoke says level opponents didn't stop Nassim.
Level of
Well,
opponents didn't stop a few people.
first of all,
It didn't
listen,
stop.
there was a beginning period of Nassim and an ending period. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like this guy is just. We haven't seen an end period for Wilder. Wilder fans need to calm down.
Hold on. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with the phone lines. It's not. It's from our end. Okay, guys, it's oh my god, it's
Okay,
not from
listen.
our end.
If
Future.
to who wants to smoke? Look, if you're gonna put Oturo Gatti in, who did pretty good, who had a very good career, okay. I guess there are certain guys that you would need to look at and say, yeah, he needs to get in as well. All right. So you're right on that point. Like, if you think that what Wilder has done is better than Oturo Gatti already, then that's fine. That's fine. Then. But what I'm saying is, as a fan, would you be happy that if Wilder retired today, with the resume he has right now, not fighting some of the guys I mentioned, are you going to say that's a complete career and it's one of the greatest you've ever seen? Maybe in your lifetime, but in the history of boxing. Come on, man. You can't be honestly saying, yeah, everything he's done up to this point, if he retired, is one of the greatest resumes you've ever seen. I mean, I think you would be lying. I don't believe you if you answer that yes.
Yeah, I don't know, guys.
Yeah, Fight Scout, you're right. Joppy beat Roberto Duran. I mean, should we just put him in the Hall of Fame because of that? I mean, we're not gonna say, look, fucking Duran was already 50 probably at that point of his life.
Bro, Jeff Horn needs to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he beat Manny Pacquiao. He got an official win on paper, so he beat Manny Pacquiao. So therefore, he's Hall of Fame.
Do you know who else should go into the Hall of Fame?
Who's that?
A lot of fucking people. A lot of people who aren't in there.
Well, Butterbean.
We can say, well, based off of this guy, right, being in there, he should go in. But what if I were to say, based on this guy not being in there? So, I'll tell you what. If we say that Gatti's in there, and Wilder isn't, Wilder should go in. But Jack Chase isn't in there. Does Wilder have a better resume than Jack Chase? I'll ask anybody who's questioning, like, Wilder shouldn't be in or should be in. If Wilder's going in and Jack Chase isn't, is that fair? I know you probably don't really know Frank on that one.
Jack
But
Chase, no, I don't. I
yeah,
don't know much. I've heard of him obviously, but don't really know.
Murderer's Row Fighter, his resume whoops the shit out.
Now Wilder is a
So
champion
Jack
He
Chase
was
the
is
part of
Mo
that
area.
murderous row, right?
Gatti's in there, but Jack Chase isn't, right? So that should be rectified. However, it also shows that there are levels of fighters who aren't in there too, and have had way more time period to do it. James Toney isn't in there. He should be in there. So I mean, until all of those guys are in there, I don't think we should make an exception like we've made just because we like a fighter. That's just my opinion. And for someone to say it's not about what you think,
Is
the
Clinton
question is, should he be in? I have to give my opinion.
is Clinton Mitchell a Hall of Famer?
No.
To the fans, to the chat, is Clinton Mitchell, if you know who that is he a Hall of Famer?
Better fucking not be.
Clinton Mitchell has had 5 professional boxing fights. His most notable win, Bernard Hopkins. He had 5 professional
Trinidad.
fights.
That's pretty good.
Wait, you're talking about
He
Winky,
went
right?
3-1-1 with 1 knockout.
Same breed is saying that the end of the year, Dubois and Yoka whoop Wilder.
Frank.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Is Clifton Mitchell the dude who beat Hopkins?
Yes, Clinton Mitchell is the guy that beat Bernard Hopkins. I'm just trying to show like a level of we could look. If Clinton Mitchell is still alive, wherever he's at, God bless his soul, he can always say, "I beat Bernard Hopkins."
Yeah,
that's it. Though you can say whatever you want, but if you're gonna lower the standard, right? A guy like Clinton Mitchell could forever talk to his grandchildren. He probably has grandchildren, and he could say, "I beat a future Hall of Famer, a legendary fighter, Bernard Hopkins."
Same breed, thank you for the contribution. He says, the end of the year, Dubois and Yoka whoop Wilder. Probably. I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna piss people
But
off.
wait, hold on. Were you talking about Winky Wright?
No, we were talking. We were just.
Winky's in the Hall.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's already in the
Winky's
Hall?
in the Hall of Fame, I believe. You see,
Oh,
the
he
Hall of
is.
Fame, I believe, for every sport, you got to be 5 years retired before getting in.
And by the way, for people who are giving me shit about all, still active.
Oh, by the way, recognize they changed it recently. I think it's gonna be less than 5 years now.
Oh, they did. Okay, fine. That's better. Less than 5 years to me is better.
I don't think it's better though, because there's still these boxers that, 2 years later come back or 3 years later. Let's make it 5. Make it 5. 5 doesn't really matter. I think
Hall of Fame don't mean nothing to me when it comes to sports. I mean, the very fact that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not in the Hall of Fame because of people's belief, it tells you it's a joke.
Yeah, but
These are the 2 greatest
though. They're all
players
juiced
ever.
up. I don't know. Bias Box says Winky Wright schooled Mosley and Trinidad. Yeah, but Trinidad was,
Yeah, he's pretty past it.
way past it, I'd say. And Mosley at 154 was not really that good, man. This guy established himself at lightweight and then had some fights at the welterweight. At 154, what the hell did Mosley do? He robbed De La Hoya. That was a robbery. And then Vargas? I don't know. Winky Wright was... I don't know. Let's be honest, he was kind of boring too, right? I remember that Winky Wright against Jermaine Taylor fight? God.
Yeah, it was boring.
No, that was boring fight. And I went to a bar to see this thing. It's Winky Wright against Bernard Hopkins. One of the worst.
Dirty Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah. That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life.
Bernard Hopkins is a fucking ATG.
Yeah. At boxing and at conning, American society too.
BDA says, whoa.
He's a con man for sure.
BDA saying that Taylor Wright was actually a good fight. I knew they were exchanging and stuff, but yeah, I think we're confusing Hopkins with Wright. Yeah, Taylor Wright. Somebody had great trunks. That's all I remember. BDA Boxing also says, yeah, Hopkins Wright. Yeah, that was the one that was boring, I guess. Unbiased Boxing says Wright wasn't that boring. Okay. Ceron777 says Clenbuterol, I was born ready to cheat. He's talking about Canelo.
I like that name.
The Fight Scout says Winky Wright had a nasty cut against Hopkins.
He did, man. That was a pure headbutt.
Yeah, we should do a show about the most disgusting cuts that we've seen in boxing. And
for me, one of the most disgusting was Vitali.
I was going to say that. Remember the Codman? He was that old guy with a weird hat. Remember he was in a.
How you look at that cut and say, "Yo, I think we should stop this shit." You did not say, "I think we should stop this shit."
The Codman was like putting his finger inside the fucking thing that was all open and everything. He was like rubbing it, putting Vaseline on it, trying to fix that thing. It was unfixable. That was unfixable, man.
Yeah. Can I interject one thing? Some people are saying Winky should be in. Yes, he should, but he's in there.
Is he?
He was in. He was inducted last year.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Who was his biggest wins? Trinidad and Mosley, right? Twice.
Trinidad Mosley, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, he's got some good ones.
On the name recognition, that's gonna get him in.
Icorte? Did he fight Icorte?
Oh yeah, did he? Yes.
No. Yeah.
No. I'm confused now.
Who fought Icorte after?
I thought he fought Icorte.
No, he did fight Icorte. Yeah? He beat him.
Yeah.
After, when
he came after the draw with Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah, but that Corte wasn't even the same. But anyways, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
should Fernando Vargas be in the Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
He beat Winky Wright.
He was the youngest 154-pound champ at the age of 21, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, that's not... Well, maybe that counts for something. What is people saying here?
He beat Winky Wright and he beat Icorte. That's Hall of Fame already, bro. I'm joking.
Yeah.
He also beat Campos.
Actually, those were pretty freaking good wins at the time.
They are good wins, and he beat Campos as well.
Yeah, your boy Campos, Winky Wright,
Icorte, Ross Thompson.
Wilfredo
Rivera.
Yeah.
He lost to Tito. He lost to Oscar.
Yep.
Lost to Mosley twice in Mayorga. He beat Javier Castillo.
Castillejo, yeah.
Not a bad resume. He fought some fucking good
fighters. That's a pretty good resume. We're kind of like just, flinging our hand at him and saying, nah. But if you really look at his resume, at the time when he beat these guys, they were pretty good.
And he was beating Mosley in the first fight. But then he had that swelled thing. His eye was all swelled up, I think.
Didn't he also beat Jose Flores, if I remember correctly?
I don't
remember.
Knocked
out Flores?
Rafael Marquez?
Who? Fernando Vargas.
Fernando beat
Jose Flores.
I don't remember.
I think he beat him in 0-1. Can anybody in the chat check that? He beat him before the loss to Oscar. Knocked his ass out.
Remember, he was right after the Trinidad fight. He fought that dude, Wilfredo Rivera, I think his name was.
Yeah, he dropped him. Yeah.
Remember, he dropped Vargas and he was doing that fucking wince, bro.
And he was a
welterweight. I truly believe this guy was concussed.
Oh, it was. Emmanuel Stewart kept saying, "Yeah, that's what." Like he got damaged by Trinidad. Yeah. I mean, because the other guy didn't have that much punching power, I think, though.
No, he didn't.
He was a welterweight.
And let me tell you something. Luckily, he had the will, because the way he reacted when he went down, he would have not beat that count.
Remember
But he was
yeah,
one of those.
he fell and he was like leaning to the sides, like he couldn't balance himself anymore. It was a bad. He wasn't a flash knockdown or anything. It was actually his brain got all fucking scrambled, man.
It was a legit knockdown. That was a fucking very legit knockdown.
Guys, Corruption in Boxing says that great Puerto Rican flyweight Ivan Calderon is not in the Hall of Fame. Typical discrimination against flyweights. This guy got a bunch
I'm very
of offenses.
disappointed in Corruption.
Why?
Because he never fought a flyweight.
Super flyweight? Something like that, no?
He fought a light fly and minimum.
Okay, a minimum, okay.
He was never a flyweight, but he was a minimum and light. I'm disappointed in Corruption. He should know that.
I don't remember. I
Plus-
remember he was on
Plus,
HBO.
it's normally
man.
5 years. Like, he's been retired. Like, he's been retired now 7 years. But the thing is, like, there are other fighters as well who've been retired longer who haven't gone in. So, give it a bit of time.
Let's get Jimmy in here. Jimmy, welcome to the show. Let's begin. What do you think about Deontay Wilder claiming that he is a Hall of Famer because he has 9 defenses of that WBC belt he's holding hostage?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Actually, you know what I mean. If you have say for instance, like a really really severe head injury, I could, you could probably fucking see it along those lines. Or if you have Down syndrome, but I mean, if you have an IQ above a fire hydrant, you're probably gonna spit up on yourself laughing at it. It's just insane.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, you almost scared me there for a little bit. Okay.
Tell us how you really feel, Jimmy.
I mean, come on, dude. Listen, I'm not even trying to put it at his feet, whatever. I think he has a soft chin. I think they always knew that. I think he's got explosive power, without a doubt, right? But I think they've purposely tried to avoid anybody at any time that could punch. And I mean, just even the fact, going after Ortiz again, it's just ridiculous. But that resume is ridiculous. He's never fought a top 10 heavyweight. I believe Ortiz was the first. He was ranked by a couple of, belts in the maybe 8 or 9. But prior to that, Bevern Stevens, with that fucking slob. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a joke, dude. It's a joke. He was a prospect when he was 36-0 still. You know what I mean? Like, literally, this fucking dude never fought anybody. Anybody. Still hasn't. Brazil, whatever that fucking dude. Come on. Typical football
Didn't
player.
DeBella say, Jimmy, I'm sorry to interrupt, but didn't DeBella say when after the belt from still a prospect?
You checked out for a second, brother.
I'm sorry, didn't DeBella say as much? He said after Wilder won the belt off of Bermane Stavern that he's still basically a prospect?
Yeah, he did. I remember he said something along those lines. Yeah, because he never fought anybody. You go down his record. You go back right before he won the title, I believe. I mean, wasn't he fighting guys still with 17 losses, 18 losses?
Yeah.
He's never fought anyone, and it shows. You know why it shows? If he was all right, he's a character, whether you like what he says or not. Okay, he's flashy. I mean, I think he's coming out with the to this day bullshit a little hard, but I mean, outside of that, you got the story with his daughter. You know what I mean? He can be funny when he wants to be. If he was handled right. And actually, because no matter what, you can, like I said the other day, you can call yourself the best ever, but you're the best ever when the fans say it is. And this is a fan-driven market. If this kid was banging tough guys out and were in brawls, edge-of-your-seat brawls, do you think he would still be given Groupons and giveaways? His last fight against Ortiz, there was still paper in the place, and they still couldn't sell it out. Think about that. He didn't sell out his own home fucking state. When he fought back in Bama, he missed that sellout by 3,000. And this is so come on, a heavyweight champion, American heavyweight champion with a WBC belt for this many years, and he's still pretty much a fucking, not a household name in his own household. And that's strictly because no matter what, you can try to dress up a pile of shit, put a bow on, it's still a pile of shit. The fans, for all the fucking, you know what I mean? So much as people argue about it on Twitter and all that, regardless, it's one of those things. This is a sport. one of the few people I got to say though is Spence. This fucking kid climbing into another pay-per-view, which I don't want to get me started on that because of course they already started to try to say it was so many. But regardless, it's gone down from Garcia and it's going to go down again when he fights Danny. So you're going to tell me that Fox is going to look at that and say, okay, this is like we just sunk in so much money in advertising and the sales went downward, not up, and now they're going to go down again. So I guarantee Fox isn't going to be in this for the long haul if that's the kind of shit they're going to see.
You don't believe that 350,000 pay-per-view buys?
What's that?
Do you believe in that 350,000 pay-per-view buys that?
No.
Okay.
No. What Cop said it was targeting like fucking over 300, but he said Pacquiao right after the fight because now that he's behind a paywall, he always like fucking. I saw a tweet, so true. He always wants to be first. Accuracy is secondary. It was an excellent point. Somebody made up, but you know what I mean. So he just wants it's clickbait. Plus, he's got his boy Mark Ortega, that fucking weirdo dude. He's now producing the PBC show, so he's got his inside source this. But Mark doesn't have any. He's not like plugged into anything. He just has rumors. So that's where he gets. But yeah, he missed the Pacquiao. He was tweeting at the end, tracking well over 400K. You finished at 360. You know what I mean? So if he's saying tracking it well over 3, who knows? Or no, he was saying, yeah. But I don't think it's going to match Pacquiao. I'll be shocked if it matched Garcia, or rather. I'm thinking it's probably going to top off around 3 or 250, between 250 3. And it's going to do way less than that against Danny Garcia. So it's not a sustainable fucking game plan.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I mean, like, if you look at the people who are announcing these pay-per-view numbers, it's not legitimate. How would you call them? Like, it's only people on YouTube that are talking about this. I mean, I go to Boxing Scene and they're not mentioning anything that Coppinger or whatever his name is saying. I mean, he's not reliable.
No, he's not. He's been his sources have been dogged out so many times. Remember the shit he said about Triple G? Oh, he's ready to break up with his manager. He was tweeting out all kinds of shit, and Tom put him on blast. Yeah, no, dude, I heard he's not a bad guy personally. You know what I mean? But he doesn't give a fuck. He's all about he wants the retweets, and when he knows if he puts out something and he panders to a certain audience, he gets that retweet. You know what I mean? So, and that's all he's looking for. It's clickbait.
These writers today, these journalists, right? They will sell out their mother for a fucking headline. They'll say whatever they got to say.
Yep.
And so yeah, that's where he's at. And because Wild that's definitely going to be a pay-per-view too, right?
Yeah, November 23rd.
So that's going to be what, the 7th or 6th pay-per-view this year. And none of them, maybe Pacquiao Thurman. Outside of that, none of them really deserve to be pay-per-view.
Wait, that's the 7th?
At least the 6th.
How many had they had? Like, let's see. Pacquiao Broner, that's 1. Then they had Garcia, yeah. And then they had.
There's going to be 3. There's going to be 3 with Spence, but that's going to be next year in January. But I know they had Wilder. The Wilder fight, right? That was it. I just saw a tweet the other day. It was like 6, counting this one coming up with Wilder Ortiz. I believe that's number 6. So at $75 a piece, that's $300 just in pay-per-views. Then your Showtime subscription. It's over a nickel a year just to fucking follow the PBC.
Yeah,
you're gonna tell me they're putting out 5 times the product that the Zone is?
Holy shit, that's $450.
Yeah. And the same knuckleheads who are fucking, with their LOLs and their laughing emojis, the Zone, $99 a year. It's like half-wit. You're paying fucking close to $600 if you go in Showtime and you're buying all their pay-per-views.
So okay. So to get all these PBC fights, you need to cough up $450 in a year, and then 12 months of Showtime subscription. So that's, I don't know how it's like premium cable over there. So
yeah, I believe it's $14 a month. I think if you were to just get it on its own, but it was usually with a package.
Okay.
But it's at least another fucking C note a year. You know what I mean? Probably $120 a year minimum. So you throw that on top of the already 300 plus taxes on those pay-per-views. So yeah, you do it well close to $500, and if that's they don't add another pay-per-view. So now I ask, is that worth 5 times what you're paying for DAZN?
Yeah, the Sony is it's $99 in the US, right, for a whole year.
For a whole year, yep.
Yeah, come on, you can compare that. You know, Haymanites on Twitter, he made a calculation and he got like $600 something per year just to get all the PPC fights.
Yeah, no, I saw that too. Yeah, he does come up with some fucking good
Right.
calculations sometimes.
Pay over $600 is a better deal than paying $100.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we did get some good. I mean, we're not saying that the PBC didn't put on some very interesting fights, but the price, though, it's like what we're looking at over here, and it's crazy, and it's not like that.
Let me ask you,
putting garbage
Bucho,
fights.
do you have any of those pay-per-view fights that this year that they've had for pay-per-view? Do you have any PBC fight right now queued up in your DVR? Like, I don't want to erase that. I'm not going to clear that because I might sit down some night and rewatch that. What PBC pay-per-view this year that you would say I'm going to have some friends over and rewatch that fight?
Maybe maybe Spence Porter, but then again, that fight, I'm looking at it, I saw it again, and it's a bit like they're smothering their work. It's
sloppy.
It's sloppy. That's the word.
It was good, but I agree. It was a little.
It's good by today's standards because everybody's got so affected by ring rust. Like I watched probably for the 100th. I don't know how many times. Mickey Ward Arturo last night again. That first fight. You could tell those guys were fighting 3, 4, 5 times a year because their accuracy. They were cracking each other. You know what I mean? I mean, they were landing some fucking bombs, and they were like. But that's probably the wrong fight to point to. But it's just that shit would have been talked about. The sloppiness of that fight. Like to see a fucking supposedly the pound for pound champion in the world, going, and they both would throw 3-punch combination and catch nothing but air. And that happened time and time. And then fucking, oh my God, Porter with his fucking charging with his shoulder and headbutts. Not that he's doing it as dirty, but he smothers his own work. Constantly. It's like, fucking, dude, you get so amped up. It's like, step back, bro.
But yeah, I think we got off topic over here. We were talking about Deontay Wilder. Well, that's the topic today. Hey guys, I don't know if the phone lines are working now, so keep trying. There's nothing I can do. It's a problem that they're having over there on Block Talk. So.
Hey, am I echoing on your end?
Nope.
Okay, it's like I'm hearing myself 7 times back.
It's probably me, man.
Sorry.
All right. What else do we have here on the agenda? We're gonna have to move on from Wilder for now.
Please, let's do.
This you guys remember the Philo Greco, that boxer that fought Spence? Anyways, I was watching his channel and he was talking about something that was very interesting. Now, if you compare this past welterweight fight between Spence and Porter, it was the IBF against the WBC welterweight champion. And you go back to September 18, 1999, De La Hoya against Felix Trinidad, also the WBC against the IBF welterweight champion. But the difference is that fight made so much more money. You had fighters, both fighters were in their like 26, 27, I believe. The fight made like 1 million pay-per-view buys. What's wrong with boxing right now? Because this fight is nothing compared to the Hoya Trinidad. And I know it's De La Hoya and Trinidad, but still, I mean, you had like Errol Spence Jr., undefeated 30-year-old boxer. Hey, Pete, are you there?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, welcome to the show. So yeah, I mean, why? It's interesting, you know. I know it's Spence is not De La Hoya or Trinidad, but
too fragmented.
What do you mean to
Look at the
fragment?
UFC, man. I mean, I'm just saying, we had it. I think boxing had it right with King, but he got he got fucking caught with his hand in two jars.
Can barely hear you, man.
I'm sorry, dude. You
Zero
got me now or
zero
no?
777 says King Butcher documenting like Canelo and Tyson, no fury. He says we protect ourselves, we fight without politics, and we fight for everything we got. What are you talking about? Did you guys try the phone lines, see if they work? You can try and call again. Alan says this is boring. Get Jimmy to talk PEDs. You guys want to hear PED talk? Come on. Nobody wants to.
Let's get buff.
Yeah. Well, guys, tomorrow we're gonna be talking about Golovkin and Deryachenko. So, I guess right now we can talk about whatever you guys want, since we can't get the phone lines. Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, more than likely, I'm working on getting some tickets for that fight.
Which
it looks more likely I'm gonna get them.
Nice.
Okay.
Right, because I'm not. Look, if you ever been to the Garden, it's a waste of time to get tickets like further up and shit. Right, you got to get them like in the lower level. If not, it's not worth it. You can watch it on a big screen, but what point is that? You could watch that on a big screen in your house.
Good point.
Yeah, I ain't going.
So
I
if
must
I
have
get
an upper bowl.
if I get the seats that I'm asking for, I'm definitely going.
Hey guys, can you hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Does
hear
it
you.
sound better? Does it sound clearer or?
Yeah, it sounds clear.
Okay, I just my girl ordered me new headphones, so I just put them in. Still
SSV,
echoing them.
SSV28 says that Deloitte Trinidad was pre-internet era. We can't compare. Actually,
yes, you can.
Wait, hold on. If it's internet era, it should get more people to fucking watch the fight, man. You have social media to promote a fight. I mean, actually, social media helps sell a fight.
Of course.
It's just that this fight wasn't a pay-per-view, in my opinion. I don't believe those numbers.
De La Hoya back in '99, the name that he had, you wish that Spence could reach that level at any point of his career. You gotta almost bet against him that he could reach that. I'm not saying it's impossible; he'll never do it, but that's a hard level to reach in any man's career.
And he was inactive. He didn't even fight once in 2017. Fought once or twice in 2016. None in 2017. Once in 2018 or some shit, and twice this year. I mean, you just, you got to be more active. You just have to. You just get a build towards something. There's nothing in the fight everybody wants. They're not even talking about.
All right.
Works for DJ says Joseph Parker has pulled out a fight with Chisora due to illness. That's fucked up if that's true, man. Damn.
So that was gonna be in the undercard of Josh Taylor against Prograis for the World Boxing Super Series final. So yeah, that sucks. That sucks. You know what? Maybe they want to make that its own like main event. Maybe.
Probably.
Because,
It's starting to sound that way. Remember him bitching about it, like him being the undercard?
Yeah, Chisora. Yeah, so it wouldn't
Is
surprise.
it just me? Is it just me? I can't get up for a Joseph Parker fight. I hear reason. It's like womp womp. The fucking a feather-fisted heavyweight. It's like, come on.
Yeah, he knocked out like Francois Botha. Like this guy was ancient, and then finally he fought Andy Ruiz, and that fight was boring. Let's be honest, that fight was boring. And then he fought Joseph Parker, another boring performance. He also fought Huey Fury, another boring performance. Then he fights Dylan White, gets out bogs the whole time. At the end, at the last fucking second, he drops Dylan White, but that wasn't enough. So you're absolutely right, Jimmy. This guy is boring.
Thank you. Yeah, no, he bores the fucking paint off the house. He's terrible.
King Butcher, Zeron says King Butcher does not want that smoke again. What smoke? I don't know what you guys talking about. Guys, try to call in, man. I don't know if the phone lines are working now, but please just try.
I think you tried to say that you're sabotaging the phone line, meaning you don't want smoke.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he meant by that.
I'm gonna try to call in. Let's see if it works. Anyways, what else do you guys want to talk about? This open discussion over here.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, it's working, guys.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
All right, call in. Talk about Wilder. Some people wanted to
call in, guys. Call in.
You wanted to defend Deontay Wilder? Go ahead. Now's the time. Deontay Wilder.
Call in, you bastard.
Hall of Famer. Well, Jimmy, somebody said that Deontay Wilder does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Again, 9 defenses of the WBC title. The WBC title is a prestigious title because it's one of the oldest titles.
Yeah, but nuances count. You know, like who you fight counts. Like that, your resume counts. That's what boxing's built off of. It's basically, at the end of the day, it's built off your resume, your memory, you know, your fights you had. He's about to fight a guy who's probably, I'm not even joking, probably in his mid-50s. And it's going to be a pay-per-view. Who's he ever fought? Wild, I mean, fucking Fury, and he lost.
Exactly.
Let's be honest, he lost the motherfucker.
The first step.
And he still might get clipped. He still might get clipped this time around, too.
It's possible.
How the hell is he Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, yeah, it's an exaggeration. What about the fact that Wilder has been knocking? It comes out. It all comes back to what Jimmy's saying. Who did he fight? You know, because I can keep bringing up all these arguments that people are saying, like, oh well, the WBC title is a prestigious belt. He was in he's in the heavyweight division, which is also very prestigious. He's been knocking everybody out. But who the hell was he doing that against?
Hey, Bucho, did you ever hear anybody ever describe Triple G's WBC belt as prestigious?
No. No.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's one of the worst arguments. Let's be honest.
I mean, they're trying to discredit his title run, saying it was just a regular belt. It wasn't a super or whatever.
You know, or what about, like, you know, you had people like Sergio straight up saying, you know, you don't fight him, you swerve him. You know, Flotch rather said that. You know what I mean? He had guys saying he'd beat him and you on the same night. From 2014 to 2017, people either paying him money, step aside, or giving up their belts. Let's cut the shit. That matters. That kind of shit matters. That wasn't happening with Wilder. Granted, there wasn't a shit ton of talent, but he wasn't searching out the fucking Joshua. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And but here's another argument, Jimmy. Precedents. Some people have managed to get into the Hall of Fame when they really shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And you know, some people were mentioning Arturo Gatti. And somebody else mentioned Leon Spinks. So what do you think about this?
Okay, so Arturo Gatti, right? So let me defend that. And it's not, and I would have defended this even if, all right, you're never going to hear anybody under the age 40 ever make that argument about him being in the fucking Hall of Fame. You look at his body of work, you look at his entertainment value, the fights that fucking kid was in, the edge of the seat bang out brawls that you don't see today for a decade. You know what I mean? Like, that matters. Yes, was he the most skilled fighter? No, but he was a fucking fighter. You know, when it meant to be something.
Mm-hmm.
But so.
Yeah, but
yeah.
What is your criteria for being in the Hall of Fame then?
You know what? I don't give it much fucking thought. I think that was, again, a lot of that. Was that post? Did he get in after he died, or was that before?
Yeah, after he died, which is why I believe he was inducted. Well, one of the reasons.
Yeah,
one of the reasons. Yeah.
Sometimes that has, because the problem is, if you water it down, you could have. I digress. You could have a section of like another wing, like the, you know, moment in history, the brawlers, special mentions. like a room like a guy like Mickey Ward or Tora Gotti, guys who during that, like, you got to look at a period of time over 100 years from 1995 to 2000, you know what I mean, that 2003 or whatever, that there's gonna be times in those boxes might not make in the Hall of Fame, but you know what I'm saying, like you could have a wing, you know, special mention, I guess, you know, the brawlers, that's what I always thought. But yeah, the Hall of Fame has to be an exclusive club or it loses its shine.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, we don't want it to become a popularity contest neither, right? But yeah, you could have a different category for that, but I don't know. Anyways,
But what I mean is not inducted. When I say a wing, like they wouldn't be in, like you would look them up under Hall of Fame fighter, but like there would be, if you visited, you would say like the brawlers, you know, just different, like little props to them, but not inducted into the Hall of Fame.
yeah,
That's what I
like
meant by
okay, yeah, like to be
But
remembered.
it's got to
Like,
be on some level what they meant to boxing, though. You know.
exactly, just like a room to be remembered. There's certain guys you could, you know what I mean, deserve to be
yeah,
remembered.
I mean,
yes,
even the
There's
Hall of
certain,
Fame. It can't just be. It can't just be what like their record or their fucking. I mean, it's got to be
fame.
obviously. Well, fame, yeah, but I'm just saying, like you said, like a fan favorite or whatever you said. Like, you know, it's an individual sport, so you got a lot of guys in the NFL Hall of Fame that I don't know if they weren't on that team, if they didn't have that supporting cast, would they have even, you know what I'm saying? Like, would they even have gone down that road? Or would they have been great? So what I'm saying is though, you got a guy like Ward, I mean, a guy like Gaddy that gets in there. It's like kind of like what he meant to boxing. I wish we had guys like him today. Where the fuck are those guys today?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking here, like, yeah, you're right. Like, so you have like a different sections for, yeah, because the Hall of Fame at the end of the day is a place where you immortalize boxers, right? So you never forget them. And Arturo Gatti is one of those boxers that you don't never want to forget. I mean, come on, he was in some of the best fights. But like, achievement-wise, did he achieve something that other boxers never achieved in terms of accolades, championship belts, and stuff like that? No. But he still deserves to be remembered. So
it is. It was also like like they just said, his importance to the sport, how he influenced the sport. You know.
yeah, well, they have the non-participant category, right, where you had Sylvester Stallone in there. So you do have non-boxers in there.
Well, that's You can buy your way into that too. That motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he donated.
Yeah, Rocky
100 grand.
Balboa, Sylvester Stallone is going to go into the Hall of Fame because of his role as Rocky Balboa, fictional character. Then you got to put Arturo Gatti, who actually put in the work.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be in the same room.
No, but
I mean,
no.
Fuck that.
I don't think they're in the same room. It's a different category, right? It's called non-participant. So I don't think they put him on the same wall or anything. I would hope.
Plus,
not.
Arturo Gatti
You've
did
been
have
there. You told us.
He did have accomplishments. He was a two-weight champion. He was,
yeah,
he got some big wins. Or at least, I'm not saying the wins he beat like Hall of Famers.
No.
But like the way he knocked out some of these guys that he fought that were pretty good was impressive.
Yeah, but then it starts becoming very subjective, right? Like, what did this boxer bring to the sport, right? And then somebody could say, well, Deontay Wilder brought the knockout excitement, you know, or Golovkin. Well, Golovkin, he has to be there, right? I think it was somebody else. Anyways, yeah, it becomes very subjective at some point.
Well, Golovkin too. He had didn't he have almost a record amount of middleweight defenses or close to it?
Yeah, almost got to 2020, I think, which is Monson and who else is it? Monson and Jesus.
Think about it. If he wasn't fucking fucked in that first fight, that changes his, you know, everything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Seron777 says Triple G fought bombs. All right. I'm sure Wilder is fighting the best.
Right, and Wilder fought fucking gems,
9
right?
bumps.
And does that dude who said that know about all the fucking guys that either paid money, gave up their belt, or publicly swerved G during that time too?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what could he do? Nobody would step in the fucking ring.
No.
And then if they bring up that Andre Ward shit, that where do you go to 168? That fight would have never happened by Andre Ward's own. I won't even want to get into that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and at least Golovkin unified. So I'm not saying only because he unified he's better. No, he unified, but he also has a lot of defenses, and he was the man in the middleweight division. So that's something Wilder. That's what I keep saying about Wilder. Okay, 9 defenses, but he is not the number 1 heavyweight. I mean, at some point he was maybe even the 3 heavyweight because you had Joshua and Fury up there above him. So this doesn't make sense.
And then just look at his impact on the sport. Triple G has opened up. It's because of what he did. HBO taking a gamble on him and stuff, and look how he paid off. And then after that, they really opened up the market to Usyk, Bivol. None of those guys would have got looked if it wasn't for Triple G, laying the groundwork.
That's a good point.
So it's the mover and shaker. He influenced the sport.
Yeah, and
It's hard.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go, Butcher. Go ahead. This fucking delay is pissing me off, man. It's probably my phone. You get the fuck off here.
I was about to
come
say
back.
that. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
You're getting it too, that delay? It's not just me? Okay, so I thought it was just me. All right.
Yeah, it's something weird going on with the internet. Maybe it's my internet. I don't think it is. There's no issues over here.
How about now? There.
But you sound okay. Anyways.
I feel like shit. The thing is, like, it's hard to talk about a guy when he's still. It's hard to talk about a guy when he's still in his career. His career's not over with yet. So Wilder could be one of the greatest of all time. You never know, but I doubt it. The question is this though, like, if a guy's already in, he was voted in. Not to keep bringing it back to Gaddy, but okay, so without Gaddy in boxing, what does it take away from boxing if Gotti was never there? Like, you got to make a case for him to be not in the Hall of Fame. Fuck that. I don't care if we ever unified or not. Those fights were good.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did Gotti ever want to get pregnant? Thank you.
Well, that's the thing, though. Wilder brings this
weird. Well, they're gonna hold that against him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Too bad they didn't have his street fights. Count those, because I heard that motherfucker got in a lot of brawls in the street. Even after he was champ.
Yeah, he was a fighter, bro.
Yeah. Well, he was heavy in with the HAs, so they're not exactly a boys' club.
What happened to his wife, whatever she was, girlfriend?
The Brazilian chick?
Yeah, I know she had a store in Montreal, and then she had to close it.
The one that had him murdered?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she actually opened a boutique with his money that she didn't give any, because he had a daughter that he had before he had his son with that fucking prostitute. But she opened up a boutique not 3 miles from his mother's house. Talk about fucking
fucking
God. In Montreal.
Yeah, in Saint Laurent, I think, street.
Anyways, people a lot of his fans, so she claims, who knows, she was probably a shitty business person, but but of course she claimed it was due to harassment. She had to close. People were egging the store and leaving threatening messages on the machine, calling her a murderer. Well, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have murdered him. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that really did happen. Maybe you should have not murdered him. How about that?
Listen, she
came back to Montreal and did that?
Yeah, she opened up a store not 3 miles from the mother's fucking house.
Now,
and that's where the son lives. That's where his daughter that never got any of the money, because she talked to me, it was weeks after he changed the fucking prenup, tore up the prenup. She knew that. She wasn't going to let him leave fucking Brazil alive. She knew they would never be able to, it wouldn't be like, she wouldn't have got away with that here in the States. You know what I mean?
No, she would have been. They would have found out for sure.
They have three levels of police in Brazil. They have the local, they have the in the state, and then they have the municipal, whatever. But they're notoriously corrupt. And if it's who your family knows, how much money. And put it this way, the first police there, the first state police, without a doubt, a 7-year homicide guy, right away, you're under arrest, lady. That's not how he died. You tell me he walked over that pile of blood. You know what I mean? It was disgusting, crime scene right in the kitchen floor. And you're going to say he hung himself, fell and split his head open. First off, if you hang yourself, your heart stops beating. So if you cracked your head's not going to fucking squirt. You know what I mean? The reason why they have to hang you upside down in a bathtub after you're dead and clip your arteries is because they're doing gravity. You know what I mean? It's not just going to leak on its own if your heart's not pumping. So if he hung himself and then fell and cracked his head, there wouldn't have been a big pile of blood that was there.
That's true. Very true, Jimmy.
It just doing a bunch of shit. That fucking purse, man. That the guy from Boston, a detective from Boston hired from NBC, ran a test and they took a dummy. I believe the dummy was, I think, a third less weight. So say a churro was 190. This thing was like a 140-pound dummy, and they would hang it, and to time it. And you figure it takes, and if you don't snap your neck, it can take up to 5 minutes to hang yourself. So I guess the longest the strap lasted was 38 seconds, and it would just snap because it was a cheap purse. So how the fuck are you going to tell me with him struggling, you know what I mean, that because your human body is going to start jerking, going through convulsions and whatnot, your body's going to try to survive. You can start jerking back and forth and shit. It would have snapped. It's 100% homicide.
He was never
It's not
suicidal. Everybody that knew him never heard anything about him trying to, you can tell if somebody may be suicidal, but nobody, everybody was shocked. I mean, he was gonna.
Oh, goddamn, not a goddamn rinky-dink purse strap though. Goddamn. The thing is, I can't believe she came back to Montreal. I thought she stayed down there.
Yeah, she came back
fucking
up there,
balls, huh?
Big time. Sure, she's a fucking sociopath. Listen, he wouldn't have killed himself with his son in the house. The son was upstairs.
Yeah, this is bullshit. That this man would fucking kill himself. What was
Over
it?
that
Trip to
bitch.
Brazil.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not. I mean, you never know. You can't get that deep. It's like, but with a purse strap. Like, let me get this little rinky dink ass fucking quarter-inch purse strap. Let me hang myself.
Listen, men, this is proven too. Men who commit suicides, do it in a brutal force, which is 9 out of 10 times they shoot themselves. Okay, or they'll throw themselves off a building, or they'll run into a train, something like that. They don't fucking take a chance on. If they do hang themselves, they're gonna do it the right way.
Yeah, you know what I mean? With your kid, you piss yourself, all kinds of nasty shit. Your tongue comes like 17 inches out of your mouth.
Oh, man.
It's fucking gross. Oh, it's terrible, dude. Terrible. Your eyes budge out of your skull, and your tongue comes. Oh, it's disgusting.
He was under
What's
the
that?
influence of something, no?
What's that?
Gary was under the influence of, I don't know, drugs or
Oh, yeah,
alcohol.
he was shit-faced. He was probably maybe
Shit-faced.
banging back some boogers, too,
He
but
had a
he was
fight.
definitely drinking.
Right. He had a fight with a bunch of people before that, right?
Yeah, he banged out 2 dudes. He got hit over the head with a bicycle, so
Yeah.
that cut his head open there.
Yeah.
And someone threw a brick at him, but they missed. But yeah, no, he banged out like one shot. He two-shotted 2 guys in a row, like bang, bang, and they both went out. So it was the third dude cracked him with a bicycle. Because what happened? He tugged her arm because she was being a fucking bitch. People who know him, like I was sitting in a conversation one night with a few people, and they said they think she set it all up. She had her people on the street. That fight wasn't even by accident. Because who does that? What's the chance?
It's funny you say that, Jimmy.
In a foreign
When he
country.
was living in Jersey City, somebody that I knew him.
Oh,
loved him. Like he was somebody that like everybody liked in the neighborhood in Jersey City, and because he was a very social person. Anyway, he told me, and I don't remember if this is what he heard, but he was like, more likely that girl had him killed. The whole situation was set up. They knew those guys that he got into a fight with before, and I didn't even know the details like that. To be honest with you, when this guy's telling me, of course I asked him questions about what happened before that because I wasn't aware of that. He's like, yeah, he got into a fight, but those guys knew her, and he said it pretty confident, like
the cab
the people that he
driver
must have talked
testified
to,
to that.
the people that he must have talked to that knew him out there in Jersey City. I guess maybe they told him that, but he was like, yeah. Even though the guys that he got into a fight with before he killed himself, allegedly, he those girls, his wife, excuse me, more likely knew those guys.
The cab driver testified that the interaction between the wife and the people he was fighting was way too friendly. Like she was a loudmouth bar bitch. You know what I mean? Like you'd run her fuck you hoop earring wearing fucking corner flea bag, and she would have fucking been throwing shots even if he wasn't. You know, the fact that the cab was like, it was just too odd. It was too her interaction was like she knew them. It was very calm. So I believe what it was is he ended up knocking out the two dudes who were probably going to kill him. Probably one of them was going to stab him. I think they wanted to start a fight, and it was out in the
Right
street.
there.
11:30 at night, right there. Boom, 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 boom. Stab him up. I believe
That
that's what
makes
they wanted to
sense.
do. That town is notorious. It's a very violent area. Over fucking 500 homicides a year in that region. So it's heavy in it. So I believe that was the hit right there. Was they were gonna stab him up, but when he banged the two dudes out, she had to fucking get back to the house and let him in.
Yep. But Plan B, right?
Yep,
So
it's
Plan
let him
A
in.
was
Yep.
to get into this altercation with these
Damn,
guys,
she got
have him get
everything planned
stabbed in the
out,
middle
man.
of it.
And then give him GHB too, because listen, dude, GHB got gaming hydroxybutanol or date rape.
Good
That
stuff.
turns the fucking Oh, I used to drink that shit because it gets you so fucked
Oh
up.
yeah.
But I used to
Beautiful.
love that shit, dude. You drop just an eye drop in fucking orange juice. But the thing is, if you take too much, you go out. But here's the kicker: within a couple of hours, it turns to carbon dioxide in your system. It's untraceable. And they have to run a certain test to look for it. It's very expensive. I'm sure they don't even have the capability down there. So GHB was still very big. You know what I mean? They classified as a Class A now in the States. But so I guarantee you, he's there cracking a beer. It's he wouldn't have tasted. Took an eye drop. Bloop, bloop,
No, it
cup of
happens
his
all the time.
beer.
It happens all the
Boom,
time.
out cold. Fucking, they opened the door. They picked him up, and fucking, he was out cold, and that's how he drank. Because without a doubt, it's GHB. Because I know for a fact he used to do GHB. He told me. He asked me if I could get him some. Because I used to be able to get the clear shit from Florida. It was
That's
real
right.
clean.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So he
Oh
used to,
yeah.
yeah. So without a doubt, I know he used to do it. He used to do it to come off boog, to
All
come
right,
off
guys,
coke. He said, "Oh yeah, it's the best
I
shit to
wanna,
come
I
off
wanna,
coke."
I wanna take this phone call here because now apparently the phone ones are kind of working. 805, you're on the air. 805.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me just fine?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Just to address that idiot Siron on the chat, I mean, if you gotta ask what Floyd did that made him dirty, there's really no point in even explaining it. I mean, numerous examples of what Floyd did that was dirty, making Marquez move up 2 weight classes, and then himself not making weights, aging out Mosley. When they first implemented the drug test against Mosley, he made the guy that was administering the test for him wait 5 hours before he actually took blood samples. I mean, the list goes on. So if you got to ask what Floyd did that was dirty, you got to go back to school and all that. But to answer the main question about is Wilder Hall of Fame, no, we all know he's not, all right? If anybody has to argue against that, I mean, they got issues. But yeah, so that's my quick take. What exactly is the topic right now?
Hey, caller,
Yeah.
caller, quick question. Do you feel that
What's
Wilder
up, man?
still has a chance to become a Hall of Famer?
No, come on.
No.
No?
Nah.
I think he does, but
Here's
he's not
why,
right
in my
now for sure.
opinion.
Hey, caller, did you list?
No. What's up?
I was gonna say, did you list Floyd
Go ahead.
getting caught with a fucking IV right in his arm the night before the Pacquiao fight? The fucking people from
Well, then the Manny Pacquiao fight. No. This is where you're wrong, bro. He got an exemption 3 days after he didn't tell the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Come on, man. He got
30
an
days.
exemption.
30 days after. The
3
gloves,
days
Mariano's
after,
gloves.
and then they didn't let Manny Pacquiao take his painkillers when it wasn't against Nevada State Athletic Commission rules. They just flat out said no.
Fuck. Yeah, well, there you have it.
So yeah, Floyd is slimy. Floyd is dirty. All right. So can't deny him talent. All right. He was talented. Nobody can say that. If someone says he wasn't talented, they're lying to themselves. But come on, to look past all the things he did. I mean, come on.
And then the fucking human growth hormone injection sites right on his abdomen. There's a bunch of pictures out there. Those injection sites all over his lower abs.
And then not just the antics outside the ring, gaining advantages, picking the glove sizes, picking the judges, picking the referee, picking the ring side. I mean, come on, dude. Like
the thickness of
it's
padding.
field. So yeah, he was dirty, all right. And then the way he fought, elbowing, holding and hitting, dunking below the waist. Come on, he was dirty.
All right,
he used to use double padding because it makes you real tired. It's almost like boxing in sand. You know how you get tired easy running in sand? If you use a thick padding, it's harder. You just, you know what I mean? But he could do it because he was able to do it because one thing he did do, and I'm not a Floyd fan, but he trained hard. So he was able to handle it.
Exactly.
But other guys couldn't. They get tired quicker.
Exactly. The only thing that, in my opinion, that Wilder and Floyd share is that they're allowed to foul and allowed to cheat. That's the only thing I see.
Jesus. All right. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Great call.
They're both black.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
call.
definitely both black.
Hey,
No.
I don't want to say anything.
What are you laughing at?
American, all right? They're American.
All right, man. Call back again. Hey, what's your name?
You offended Pete by laughing. How dare you?
It's actually me. It's Puga Lakan in the chat, but you guys can call me Andy.
Oh, Andy. All right, thanks for the call. Call back again.
No, what's your name in the chat? I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's Puga Lakan.
Yeah, I've seen you in the chat. All right, man. Thanks for the call. We're gonna take more calls. All right, take care, man.
Take it easy, guys. All right, I hope to. Yeah, peace.
Peace, Andy.
Great call. All right, we have another one. The phone line seems to be working now. Jesus, a little bit. No. Wait, did we just take 805? God damn it. Hold on.
Yeah, we did take. That was 805.
Yeah, no, the phone lines are still a bit weird here. Jesus. Hold on. This thing's loading. No. Hold on. God damn it.
Hey, Bucho.
Yes.
Bucho, Matrix, Big Jim, Uncle P shutting it down for the night. I'm
Pete,
jump.
you're gonna get some sleep finally.
That's it, buddy. That's it.
All right, man.
Good night, brother.
All right, guys. I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care, man.
Peace.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Who's in the phone lines right now? 404, you're on the air. 404.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up? Who's this?
Hello?
Yep.
It's T-Rod. I've been in the chat all day, man.
I can barely hear you, man.
Let's see
I just
on.
want to call in on y'all, man. I'm all right. I want to call in because y'all be kind of biased on y'all channel, man.
All right, go ahead.
You like this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how you guys want to rank Deontay. You always get on Deontay Wilder, but when you look at all the heavyweights, there's only like 4 or 5 heavyweights. Neither one of them are fighting each other. So how can you say he has a horrible resume? You have to have that same energy, Tyson Fury, and everybody else.
But we shit on all the heavyweights equally.
All right.
None of the heavyweights, none of them are fighting each other.
Well,
I don't hear anybody. I don't hear how anybody say Wilder about. He is the best. They won't give him his credit. You know, Tyson Fury just lost to Otto
He's
Wilder.
the best in your opinion.
No,
in your opinion, you feel he's the best.
Yeah, because Tyson.
But you also felt he won. Did you feel he beat Fury?
Hello?
Do you feel he beat Fury?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he beat Fury. I mean, even if he wasn't, even if y'all say he didn't beat Fury and y'all call it a draw, what has Fury done?
He beat Klitschko.
He beat Vladimir Klitschko, bro.
And
he beat an old Klitschko who hasn't fought in 2 years, man. Come on, man.
That's better than Ortiz, man.
I think he beat Wilder.
I understand. I mean, he didn't beat Wilder. Wilder still left with his belt. So how could he win if he?
you're right. Officially, he didn't beat Wilder, but I'm saying, in my opinion, I thought he beat Wilder in that fight.
I mean, that's your opinion. The judges ruled on that, and it's over. You know.
I know.
Okay, fair enough. But you did ask who did Fury win, and we said Vladimir Klitschko, who was the reigning world champion, and you dismissed that by saying that he was old. So
no, I didn't dismiss it. I mean, okay, I give you Klitschko, and I raised you Luis Ortiz. Okay. So Wilder beat Luis. Wilder beat Luis.
I don't.
No.
Wilder beat Luis. Wilder beat Luis.
But I don't view Ortiz as good as Vladimir.
Are you comparing
so
Klitschko
how does Fury's resume just exceed everybody else?
Are you comparing Vladimir Klitschko?
It doesn't.
Are you comparing Vladimir Klitschko with Luis Ortiz?
No, actually I am, because I'm pretty sure Luis Ortiz would have probably worked Klitschko at, but we didn't get to see that fight, so I'm not going to do hypotheticals.
So you're basing your opinion on what you think this fighter might have done. The bottom line is Ortiz have never accomplished really anything in boxing. I mean, Klitschko's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's that conflation.
Out of the notable heavyweight name. Who has? I mean, where's this immaculate resume that you guys got to keep shitting on Wilders?
If you're comparing Day's heavyweight, there's nobody with a way better resume. But there are fighters that I think have a better resume.
Better
than Wilder.
So do you not agree?
We were talking about.
Do you not agree? Do you not agree? Out of all the heavyweights, nobody sticks out or stands out for you guys to even be constantly shitting on Wilder like that right now?
But listen, I want to say for them, I've tweeted this, I've said it, out of all the heavyweights, Wilder's my favorite fighting today. I've said it also, it's probably not his fault 100% that he hasn't fought a lot of these guys. And it's an extremely thin, weak division. I've also said he's charismatic. I've also said if he was promoted properly, he'd be a fucking star. So I've propped him up plenty too. I've never just denounced him out of hand. I think he says some stupid shit. I don't know why he says it, because I don't feel he acts that way. But we crap on the whole heavyweight division. You know what I mean? We don't pick. I don't give a fuck about any of the other side stuff. I just call it like it is.
Go ahead, caller.
Okay, and on the point of him saying stupid things or whatnot, I mean, boxing man Tyson done said he eat people's kids. I mean, that's boxing, bro. And the political stuff he says. You guys don't know what it's like to constantly have to defend yourself all the time. It's never good enough. No matter how much you fight, how much you do, it's never good enough. You don't know what's that like. Especially when you see people.
Did you elaborate on that?
Put on a pedestal that hasn't done anything near what he's accomplished. You see, so I mean, his self-frustration.
But who's putting him on a pedestal? Who's putting
on air is different. You know, you can't judge him on that.
But who's putting Tyson Fury on the pedestal?
Dumb shit to me. I think every time he opens his mouth and says he's the greatest.
Who's that? Fury?
I mean, so all of that is subject to opinion.
No,
man.
Jimmy. He's talking about Wilder. He's talking about when Wilder says he's the greatest. Okay, listen to the caller. Wilder could say he's the greatest. That's fine. I don't agree that he is. Is there a problem with me saying that I don't agree with that?
Does he mean greatest fighting today or greatest of all time? I'm lost.
I mean, no, he's not the greatest of all time. I know that, but I'm talking about as far as right now.
No, not you. Not you, brother. I meant Wilder.
You're not talking about right now? You're talking about in general?
No, that's what I'm asking. Was Wilder referring to himself as the greatest today, or is he... You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was asking.
I mean, I don't agree with him saying, if he says he's the greatest of all times, I don't agree with that. But he is the greatest heavyweight we have right now. He is the only person that will get in the ring and fight, man.
Okay,
Y'all cannot lie and be biased and not say that AJ doesn't have politics protecting him. Tyson Fury, he's just a fucking cokehead bum. He's just out there, man. You guys know that.
He's a bum.
But the same token, if you call him a cokehead bum, he hasn't fought for years, and then, but you know what I mean? Then if he goes life and death with Wilder, but you understand? No, take a breath, bro. No, seriously, let's just discuss it calmly. But now I agree with you in a lot what you're saying. But now if you put Wilder, Fury in this box, he hasn't fought in 3 years. He's a cokehead bum. but then he went life and death with Wilder.
What does
So
that
what
say
does
about
say
Wilder?
about Wilder?
No, he didn't
You
go
know what I mean?
life
I'm
and
just
death.
asking by
He
your
didn't go
using
life
your
and death
scale.
because, hey, I mean, real quick, did y'all not hear the interview when Jack Reese, the ref, said he got passionate and caught up in the spirit of boxing and gave Wilder extra time?
What does that have to do with what? What
Mouth
does that have to
himself.
do with
That's
Fury?
out of
Wait,
Jack
time
Reese's
out.
mouth
Caller.
himself.
He still
He
got
said he
outboxed,
got
man.
caught up in the spirit of
Jimmy,
boxing,
let me ask him a
and
question.
he gave Fury an extended count.
Wilder, caller. What does that have to? Even if you believe it was a long count, right? Even if you believe that, why did he get back up?
Forget the long count. He knocked his ass out twice in one fight, man. Y'all giving this man
He
credit
knocked
for
him out
surviving.
twice in
There's no
one
moral
fight?
victories in boxing, bro.
Hold on.
There is no moral victories in combat,
Okay,
man.
Okay,
There's
calm
no
down.
moral victories in combat.
Caller.
Y'all got to stop with
Caller,
that
caller,
stuff,
it's a
man. That's
dialogue.
sad, bro.
Please. Go ahead,
Caller,
Rocket.
it's a dialogue. We got to go back. Okay. Listen, he did not knock him out twice in one fight. That's not what happened. Okay. Number two, you just called Fury a bum. Fury got dropped twice. The second time he got back up, go look at it. He was outworking Wilder. What does that say about Wilder?
He was.
Let me ask you this. If you're knocked down and you don't get up in 10 seconds, isn't that a knockout?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't get up in 10 seconds, it's not a knockout.
Well, listen, the 10 count throughout history. I've been going to championship fights since the 80s. That's projected, you know, and it's one of the parts is a human factor. Sometimes it's 11 seconds, sometimes it's 9 seconds. Wilder also got a long count when he with fucking Ortiz too.
Yeah, Ortiz.
You know, so sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But to denounce the whole fight and to categorize in that's based 100% off
He didn't get a
emotion.
long count because he never hit the floor. You got to hit the floor to get a count, bro. He never got a long count because he never hit the
Yeah,
floor.
but listen, what he's saying is that when he got a little extra break when he got hurt against
that was
Luis
the new
Ortiz.
those were the new rules to the WBC that the ref has to
Doesn't
jump in.
matter, but he
the
still
doctor
got
has
to.
to
It
check
doesn't
in
change
periodically. Those were the
It
new
doesn't change
rules
the
that
fact
was
that he got
implemented when
he
those
got a
guys
break.
were dying in the ring. Let's not
But
be
it doesn't change
biased,
the
man, and use the real facts.
Caller. It doesn't change the fact that he got a break.
He didn't get a
Doesn't
break,
change the
man. He
fact.
didn't ask for a break. He had to do what the ref said.
Listen,
What was he supposed
the
to do?
referee
What
thought
was he supposed to do?
the referee thought that he
What was
took
he
enough
supposed to do?
beating to at least warrant a
What was
doctor
he
to check him out.
What was
Okay?
he supposed to do? Push the doctor out the way and say, "No, man, don't extend my time."
No, nobody's saying that. What we're saying is that he caught a break. To me, it's just part of boxing. You looking at it all wrong, in my opinion. Okay, just part of boxing.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, for one, man, I just like. I mean,
I don't think as a Wilder fan, you should be
watch
calling Fury a
LDBC.
bum.
I listen to LDBC videos, but I try to branch out and listen to other guys, you know? And
I think if you're a Wilder fan, you're doing him a disservice by calling Fury a bum.
So biased, man.
Hey,
You guys are biased,
as a
bro.
caller, as a boxing fan, as a Wilder fan, you're doing him a disservice by calling Fury a bum. You're actually dissing Wilder as a Wilder fan.
Look. I'm not doing anybody a disservice because, I mean, to be honest with you, all the heavyweights are pretty much mediocre in my opinion. I just feel like Wilder's better than all of them. So,
He
I
might
mean,
be.
this is a lackluster
He hasn't proved.
generation
In my
of
opinion, he
heavyweights,
hasn't proved it yet. But
in
he
my
might be.
opinion,
He might be
I
right.
just feel like
Hey
he's
guys,
the better one out of all the guys.
I'll go one better. I'm one of the few motherfuckers who has Wilder in the top 10 pound for pound list because my pound for pound list goes by the guys I want to see fight. You don't want to miss a Wilder fight to his credit because he's got fucking dynamite in his hand. So that's why I rate him so high. Like you got to watch him when he fights. So I think sometimes maybe like because we don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame, you're like thinking you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that kind of nasty feelings towards this guy.
Listen, I think out of all the heavyweights, he's the most exciting heavyweight.
This generation, according to this generation, is he will be a Hall of Fame boxer because he has to be inducted out of this generation of boxers, you know?
So are you
saying... Hey, caller.
Man. I mean, and then at the same time, even if you don't like his skills, that knockout ratio, you could call him whatever you want, that knockout percentage is going to get him into the Hall of Fame.
So
if he goes undefeated and retires undefeated,
that knockout ratio is going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I believe you're right. I believe the call is right. I believe it will, because of just the sheer numbers of knockouts and everything, he will end up in the Hall of Fame. I agree with you.
Just to clarify, you don't think Wilder is great? He's mediocre, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the heavyweights right now are mediocre.
Okay, that's fair.
I just think he's the better out of the mediocre ones. I mean,
I think he's
like
correct
I
when
said,
he says all the heavyweights are mediocre. I think he's 100% correct. Now,
And it's just inactivity. That's why.
It hasn't been proven yet. Okay, so don't get crazy. So that not to the caller, just to everybody. He might be the best heavyweight of this generation right here, the one that he's in currently.
I agree with that too. And let me ask you this: Is that him being the greatest heavyweight of this generation, or your opinion of that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing for boxing? Me personally, I feel like it's a bad thing. But I mean, we got.
Well, I mean, okay. Me personally, I love the sport so much, so I say let the chips fall where they may. If he turns out to be the best one, then Wilder deserves credit to be the best one out of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. If he turns out to be the best one, let the chips fall where they may, and give him his props.
And I also picked Wilder. If Joshua Wilder would have fought, I tweeted that too. I said I believe Wilder would beat Joshua.
Listen, I used to think Joshua would have beat Wilder. If they were to fight right now, I got Wilder knocking him out. Yeah.
I mean, I've been had Wilder knocking them out, man. When you follow those UK fighters, man, and you get in it, and boy, it stems back to those guys are just juicy, man. And you guys know that. That's why Derek Chisora won't come back over here. That's why Derek Chisora hasn't called out any of the heavyweights with a big name, because he's avoiding them tests. Just like Dillian White. I mean, you guys know what's up with those UK fighters, man.
Can I tell you something?
I'm not going to paint the whole UK fighting like you.
But
I think that.
I'm sorry. No, it's just a delay, dude. I apologize.
I'm not going to paint them all the same. I'm not going to say because you're from the UK, you're weak. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. What I would say is that some of them are a little bit overhyped. I agree. Yeah, That doesn't mean Wilder still got to beat.
Let me leave you with a quote real quick. The great James Toney said when they asked him who's the best UK boxer, he said there aren't no boxers in the good boxers in the UK. They're all bum.
All right, thanks for the call,
Those was years ago, and it's still looking the same way.
Who do you think is the greatest of all time? Let me ask you. Your favorite, or who do you rate as the greatest boxer of all time? Any weight class.
The greatest boxer, heavyweight?
Yeah. Or no, any weight class.
The greatest, any weight class? I will put Floyd. Floyd to be the best. Floyd is the greatest boxer that we had. Man.
Okay. All right, man.
I understand people don't like him outside of the ring and all of that stuff, but when it comes down to pure skill set and mindset, he had the best corner, and it's proven because he hasn't lost a fight. He has more Hall of Fame fighters on his resume than any boxer out there. He has beat more champions than any boxer out there. You could pick and choose to say he did this when he was old and that when he was old. But if you comb through every boxer's resume, all of them had somebody that was too old or out of their prime.
Are you saying Floyd? You're saying he's greatest of his generation or of all time?
All time.
I'm just good. Really? No, wow.
No,
I would rate Sugar Ray Robinson way ahead of him.
Yeah.
Listen, caller. I would say this. Even though I disagree with you, I think you do have an argument. That's how we talk boxing here. Like I wouldn't tell you way off. I would just say I disagree. I don't think Floyd Mayweather is the greatest pound for pound fighter ever.
Once you got a little of that chip off your shoulder and you started just talking, man, it was a good call, man.
Yeah.
You're a little angry at first.
Great call, man. Call back again next time, all right?
Yeah,
man?
I mean, because boxing. I mean, I grew up on boxing, so I'm real passionate about it, man. And
I hear you. It brings up our blood.
Politics.
All right, thanks
you
for
guys
the
know
call,
the
man.
politics of these sports, man, and that's just like King Buto. Firsthand, man. Look at Andy Ruiz, man. Andy Ruiz had to take a fight on the fly
and had to actually and won to actually get the recognition he deserved. I been thought Andy Ruiz was the shit when he beat up Joseph Parker. I thought he won that fight. When I seen Andy Ruiz fight for the first time, I was like, man, this is the most skilled heavyweight out there with those hands.
All right.
Yeah, you got a good point.
He
He got
knocked
nice
out,
hands.
but
I will say that.
all right. Hey, man, thanks for the call.
But,
Call back again.
No problem, man.
Take care.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. Great call. That's what we want. We want controversy here. 818, you're on the air.
Yeah, that was great too. Once they calm down, like, you know what I mean, we can talk it out. Let's say you have the best debates.
Yeah, these phone lines are kind of weird. I got a message right now from Block Talk saying that we are currently experiencing an issue with the host line and the guest calling function. But so see, I was right. It's their problem. All right, 818. What's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Muscle again.
What
I have
up?
no idea how I'm going to follow up that last call in entertainment value.
Try to.
Yeah. Well, I thought we were off the Wilder subject. That's why I called like a while back.
Go
actually.
ahead.
I was just
What do you
on
want to
hold,
talk
and
about?
If it went through it.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, earlier we were talking about the other Hall of Fame nominees or possibilities of who's a Hall of Fame nominee, and we were talking about the PBC. So I have two questions for the panel. Question number one: do you guys think Jean Pascal is a possible Hall of Fame nominee, having won the lineal middleweight? The light heavyweight championship? And my second question would be: we were talking about the PBC. My second question is: in PBC short history, what is the best fight in PBC history so far? Pay-per-view or whatnot?
Or whatever. I would say Pacquiao Thurman. What about you guys?
Pacquiao Thurman.
Pacquiao Thurman. The most seats sold was Thurman Garcia, I believe. Well, that was, yeah. The most views, 5 million.
There was PBC. Okay, just PBC, right?
Yeah.
Can I count Lucas Matisse and Danny Garcia?
Hey, guys, listen, I got to hang up because the echo's so bad I can't even catch up, and I'm sounding like a fool and shit. So I'm going to hang up and try to fix this or whatever.
All right.
All right.
You sound just normal. I heard him normally.
Yeah.
Lucas
You hear
Matisse
echo?
and
Recognize
was
you
Lucas
hear
Matisse-
echo.
Matisse and Garcia?
Was that
No,
was that PBC?
No. That was in the
All right,
undercard.
so maybe I'll probably say Pacquiao, Thurman, and then I don't know about you guys, but I really liked Spence and Porter, man. I did. I enjoyed it.
Spence and Porter?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that fight. Look, I'm not
I
trying to
heard
pat myself on the back or
Williams
anything,
couple
but I
times
kind
in
of had a
chat.
feeling that was going to be a really good fight. I was pretty confident of it.
Yeah. Listen, the PBC is stepping it up a little bit now with some good fights. But I remember at the beginning, nothing was happening. I mean, when the PBC had those fights,
The beginning was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It's too tactical.
You had mismatches. Like the whole fucking time. It was mismatch after mismatch.
But from the fourth round on, it was on.
Yeah.
Once these two got warmed up with each other, like feeling each other out, that's it. And they banged it out.
Yep. Are you still there, Muscle?
Yes.
All right.
So about Jean Pascal's career, not Hall of Fame worthy, right? Or what do you guys think? At least what he did at light heavyweight.
You want to answer that first, Mucho?
Super middleweight.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Well,
Yeah, I'm with you. He's in that very good category.
He's in the
I think
underachiever.
Pascal's in that very good.
No, wait, hold on.
B-plus fighter.
Yeah. He did become undisputed light heavyweight champion. Not undisputed, lineal heavyweight champion when he beat Chad Dawson.
He was the lineal light heavy.
But then lost twice to Kovalev, lost to Hopkins, had a draw, and then a
Do you
loss
guys
with
think he
Hopkins.
should have won that the first fight with Hopkins, where he scored the 2 knockdowns on Hopkins, but it was scored a draw?
For me, it was.
I think it was. I wasn't complaining.
I had Bernard Hopkins winning more rounds, but the 2 knockdowns kind of even things up.
Alex Stancato is saying Canadian Hall of Fame. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Hall of Famer in my neighborhood.
Oh yeah, in the streets there. Anything else, Muscle?
Yeah, just one last thing then. For people saying, does Wilder have enough time left to make it Hall of Fame? I think I said this earlier, or if I didn't, I'll just repeat myself. Yeah, he definitely does. Maybe a decisive win over Fury, stopping White if that fight's ever made, and beating the winner of Joshua and Ruiz, or whoever ends up with that belt, Pulev, Usyk, I don't know. But if he beats any one of them, then sure, yeah, of course he'll have a dozen successful defenses by then. So, yeah.
Listen, I agree. Exactly. I agree. He's not a Hall of Famer right now, but I think he's close to it. He's got 2 fights that he needs, and he doesn't have to necessarily win them. He can lose one, come back, beat him the second time. You know,
avenge it.
He has a chance to become a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. And he's 34, but he's a heavyweight, so he has time. And he has the power, and the last thing to go is the power, so I think he still... Now, that chin, I know people are going to say, that chin, you never fucking know, man. He fights a guy like Andy Ruiz, even Joshua, they're going to test that chin, man. So, I would like...
He showed a pretty good chin against...
Unless he takes those fights.
I think he'll take those. Look, it's going to come down to...
questions to be answered.
Well,
for Wilder, it's going to come down to money, part of the plan, and he'll fight these guys. You know, will he win all of them? I have my doubts, but I give him a great chance at the same time.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, you know. All right, let's play this game. How many chances do you give Wilder of becoming like the number 1 heavyweight? 40, 30, 50%, 60%?
I'm gonna say 50.
50.
Because if you're phrasing the question as, is he gonna be able to beat Fury and Joshua or Ruiz?
Yeah.
Right? And then go on to, let's say, face guys like
Usyk?
What's his name? Dillian White and maybe Pulev, right? And that he's gonna come out with all of them victorious. I would say the chances of that is against him, because it's just part of boxing. When you fight those many guys, more than likely you're gonna come up short. Only the special ones come out of that undefeated.
Okay, but just just beating Fury in the rematch and beating either AJ or Ruiz, shouldn't that get him into the Hall of Fame?
That will get him to the... Excuse me. Yeah. So I still say 50-50 because I'm not 100% sure he could do that.
What about you, Muscle?
Well, I'm not sure if he can do it, but if he does do it, including like another solid win, like against the White and the Pulev, then yeah, those 4 wins should solidify his recognition into the Hall of Fame, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. And by the way, when people think we're shitting on Wilder or whatever, but listen, AJ does also have a better resume than Wilder, in my opinion. You look at the Povetkin, even though he was older.
He passed on fighting Povetkin officially. He passed on that fight. Okay, officially he did. He passed on fighting Vladimir Klitschko. He passed a deal. I don't know how much he had control of that, so I'm not gonna. Well, ultimately, it does come down.
Didn't he pass on Vitaly too?
I'm not sure about Vitaly, but I know for sure Vladimir. They considered him. Lou DiBella's statement about that fight was he's still a prospect after he became the WBC champion.
Yeah.
So that was the confidence level they had of him at that time to fight Vladimir Klitschko. And yeah, he was old. I'm not gonna say he was old before what's his name, Fury, and when he fought Joshua. But they fought him though, is the point.
Yeah, I mean, these fighters had the experience and the resume, and you look at Luis Ortiz, and it seems like people got carried away with like, oh, nobody wants to fight him, and somehow that elevated his resume, but that doesn't elevate anything. I mean, you gotta look at who he actually fought, and Luis Ortiz had that Brian Jennings win on HBO, and that was pretty much it. After that, he had a couple, like, he fought Tony Tubbs. Tony Tubbs? No, Tony Tubbs. What's his name?
Who you talking about?
No, not fight. Luis Ortiz. Then he fought that American guy.
Thompson,
yeah, Tony Tubbs is a fucking old boxer. Yeah. Anyways, so Ortiz, it feels like people are hyping up Ortiz more than he actually. He wasn't that good, man. No, he was good, but he wasn't proven. I'm trying to say that because the caller was comparing Ortiz with Klitschko. In my opinion, that's not really comparable at all, man.
I think Dorticos has done more than Ortiz, honestly, especially traveling into Latvia in his last fight and knocking out.
That's a good point, man.
Khabib.
When you talk about within the division, within their respective divisions, like a guy like Doricos did more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, that's true. But well,
he's a champion, right? He's been a champion. He's won pretty big fights in terms of like being in a tournament and knocking out that name slips me right now in the third round, giving a good fight to what's his name, Gassiev, and then getting knocked out in the end.
On the road.
On the road, right? On the road. And then he exposed Sabiti for who we thought he was, a LDBC hype job. And now he's going to be competing, another chance to be, the man at cruiserweight to fight Bridas. I think he's pretty much, so far, at least equal to Wilder.
But going back to Ortiz, I mean, and okay, let's say that his resume was questionable coming into the Wilder fight, but after he fought Wilder, he had 3 fights and he didn't show us anything, right? So it seems like Ortiz wasn't that good to begin with, because why was he not impressive in those 3 fights? Not 1 fight, like 3 fucking fights after Wilder.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Why? Why didn't he show us anything?
Because he's past it. And he wasn't that great when he was in it,
Yeah, did he age that much after Wilder? Or did Wilder also fight the same guy that we just saw in 3 fights right now? Like, that he didn't look impressive at all. Is that the same Ortiz?
Well, look, we know for a fact that he didn't fight the Ortiz that was fighting guys like Brian Jennings and all the other guys he fought, right? Because they made sure they tested him. Right? They made sure. So if he was doing something back then, which he wasn't the same guy come fight night versus Wilder. So we know for right there that no, he wasn't the same fighter anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That Brian Jennings fight was 2 years before Wilder, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot, especially for a guy that's Ortiz's age. We know what his real age is. So 2 years is actually a lot. But anyways, I mean, it's subjective, I guess. People wanna. The thing is, people think that we hate Wilder and we only shit on Wilder. We don't shit on anybody else. We've shit on most heavyweights.
But no, we don't like the fan.
We don't like the fans. But
crazy
we have
fanatic
to pick.
fan.
Yeah, but if we have to pick one heavyweight to shit on. You have to be Wilder because.
And listen, and I've seen a couple of AJ fanboys that are fucking annoying on YouTube. I've seen them, but they're not as many as the Wilder fan.
Yeah, that's true though.
Yeah,
but the thing with Wilder,
even Canelo's fanboys are not that bad, and they're bad. Canelo fanboys could be a little bit, if you feel
the Canelitas.
Triple G fanboys are bad too. Okay, fine, but it's like, are they as bad as Wilder fans? I don't know about that. I don't think so.
All right. I need to read a comment in the chat. Harold Johnson's comment. Where is Harold Johnson? Harold Johnson says, regarding toughness, Willie the Southern Smoke Rydell would fight anyone in barns, meat shop and meat shops and bars, and he only asked for free drinks and a young tulip as his prize, not $100 million. What the hell is that, Mr. BDA?
Regarding toughness release.
That's me, by the way. No, that's not him. Oh shit. Wait, what am I... What's the guy saying? That's not... Anyways.
Fight Film says Kovalev never been convicted except by bad breath racist hood rats.
Man, who is this guy? We have a bunch of weirdos in the chat. Alright, Seamus Carey says Harold might be Old Pappy.
Pappy?
No, Old Pappy's a white guy.
Is he?
Also,
he's
Wilder
a
has
white...
to at least travel on the road just one time. All the great heavyweights travel at least once. And Povetkin just traveled to the UK 3 fights in a row. So I'm just saying, at least give us one fight on the road at least.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of messages here. Right, we have to move on. We have to... Actually, maybe we should end the show, I guess. Because there's not much else to talk about. Nobody's gonna defend Wilder. We had a few callers that defended Wilder. That's pretty much it.
Yep. We had one guy call in.
There's that word again.
What word?
Nuanced.
Nuance. The nuance. I think Jimmy brought that word up, the nuance. Oh, but the phone...
Did you just say nuance?
Nuance.
Nuance.
No, I said
You
nuance.
said nuance.
Montero's favorite
I
word.
thought you said nuance.
No, nuance.
Said what?
Nuance.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Harold Johnson in the chat saying, ending the show, even I can go longer than this, and I'm 88 years young. I doubt you're 88 years young.
Yeah, that's Old Pappy.
I think that's Old Pappy, man. We never asked Old Pappy his real name, though.
You know, he talked about a guy named good old Harold Johnson.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah, I'm telling you. He said something about good old Harold Johnson, like a friend of his.
Did you see him in the chat there? I thought he was a white guy. This guy looks black. Harold Johnson. Unbiased, a real man doesn't admit that. Alright.
Oh, he's putting unbiased in his place.
Mm-hmm. Alright, guys.
All right.
Let's end this show. Tomorrow we have another show.
Peace to the chat. Peace to everybody.
Alright, take care, man. And Muscle Memory, thank you also for calling.
Bucho. And Muscle Memory. Hey, Muscle Memory, I'm finally subscribed to your channel.
Come again?
I said I finally subscribed to you.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, brother.
Check out Muscle Memory's channel. Muscle Memory, instead of E's, is number 3's. Muscle Memory.
We actually, my handlers, my chosen handlers had me change it earlier today. It's Marshall.
Yeah, handlers.
Who is this guy? Check out this. Alright, perfect. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, Muscle Memory, that's the channel. Go check it out. Alright, Muscle, call in tomorrow, right? We're gonna be talking. Alright, take care.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Tomorrow, Derevyachenko fights Golovkin. Stay tuned for that. Also, we have a special guest tomorrow. Mr. BDA will be hosting, so stay tuned for that. Alright, guys, everybody in the chat. Seamus, Unbiased, Harold Johnson, Triple JJJ, Puga Lacan. Thank you for calling also. Who else do we have? Marshall Ministry, SSB 28, Virtuoso, Hawker Mustang. I think the Shepherd of Sons was there. Precise, Fight Film. Who else? Well, everybody in the chat. And by the way, Precise has a boxing channel again. People keep asking. Check out his channel. It's Fight Film. Just click on his name in the chat and you're gonna go to his channel. So check his channel out, alright? Guys, thank you for joining us. Sorry about the phone lines. They weren't working. It wasn't a problem from my side. It was a problem from over there. and I just got a message about that. So sorry about that, but tomorrow everything should work out perfectly. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone. Totally fucking disappointed in everyone.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.